Good morning, everyone. I'm Morgan and I'm studying engineering at UWA. I'm in my last semester of 3 years undergrad.
Good morning, my name is Braden. I'm in my first year of the Master of Professional Engineering, so this is my 4th year at UWA, and I did engineering, science and physics in my undergrad.
Morning both. How did you end up studying engineering?
So for me, I didn't really know what I was going to do after school. I always wanted to take a gap year, but I decided I'd leave that for later when I was older and could experience more things. I decided to put engineering direct entry as my first preference, and it was like a maybe if I get it kind of thing, then I'll do it. I was good in maths and stuff. I wasn't really English brained, and I don't really want to write essays for the rest of my life, so I picked engineering and I got in, so now I'm 3 years in.
Mine's probably quite the opposite. I wanted to do engineering for as long as I could remember. Really liked maths in school and physics and chemistry and all the science classes that I took. I really loved building things and trying to figure out how they work, and I immediately just went, well, mechanics not interesting enough and that's kind of boring. I'll do engineering. So all through high school I was picking all the courses and all the classes I could do to do engineering, and here I am.
So what do you enjoy most about studying engineering?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah. Well, I think probably the coolest thing about it is actually using everything I've learned, every single little bit in all the units I've learned. I've used that to solve something in the real world. Even the most obscure math I learned in high school and methods and specialists, I thought, when am I ever going to use this? And then you get to uni and they go, here's how you use it. It's like, oh, well, that's really cool. It's no longer like I'm learning useless stuff. I've come and learned all of these high-level, calculus equations and stuff like that, and then I've gone and applied them to something. So, for example, one of the 30 units, fluid mechanics, you'll learn a whole bunch of differential calculus, and then you'll go and solve how you get fluids from point A to point B, the size of the pump you need, how much juice you need, and how quickly you need to push it through a pipe of X length, so you get X amount of litres per second coming out the other end. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you actually use all the things that you learned in maths in high school, and you're like, oh wow, I should have been complaining. I also really enjoy it because my dad is a mechanic and I'm studying mechanical eng, so I like being like, did you know this kind of thing? Because now I'm starting to get more knowledge than he has, which is cool.
And on the flip side of that, what have you found most difficult about studying engineering?
For me, it'd be the actual studying part, because in high school I really thrived off the competition of your classmates and the pressure that your teachers put on you to get stuff done, and then you come into uni and pretty much they don't care whether you do it or not. It's you do it or you don't do it, and you just do the unit again kind of thing. So actually putting the pressure on yourself to get stuff done and to the standard that you should get it done kind of thing. First year is always kind of a trial year, and then you kind of work your way. So I think I've finally found my way last semester. So
I think the hardest thing for me, especially if you pick up a double major at UWA, is the contact hours. So because I was doing engineering and physics, I was doing anywhere between 24 to 28 hours across the road a week. Then there was the study on top of that. Then there's the social gatherings, and then there's work commitments on top of that. So it was just trying to actually manage that when you've come in, because you've got all of your mates who might be studying other degrees that don't have the same amount of contact hours, and they're off doing their own thing, and you start getting that FOMO feeling of they're all having fun. You've just come out of high school, you don't want to have to sit down and do 9 to 5 again and again and again, and it's just trying to balance that with everything else is probably the hardest thing for me.
Okay, so I know you're both quite busy people, so I know you have lots of other commitments besides your coursework. So how do you find balancing these while you're studying?
Well, despite the fact I said that there are a lot of contact hours, it's not actually that hard to balance. I crutch pretty heavily on using a diary and Google Calendar, because I've got, I'm the senior RA at George's, I do tutoring, I help set up open day, and I set up formal dinners and stuff like that. And I've also got my research to do over at the Department of Physics. So it's just timetabling everything is probably the easiest way to stay on top of it, because UWA doesn't hide anything from you. They tell you what you need to do, how much needs to be done to get there, and when it's due. You throw those down, you stay the course, and you'll be fine. It's just making sure you write it down.
yeah, it took me a while to figure that out. They give you an outline at the start of the semester and like literally the dates of when everything is due and stuff. And if you actually write that down, then like you won't forget it, which is amazing. Yeah, Google Calendar has been a lifesaver. I used to be very forgetful, like forget everything.
You set up like so many notifications like 10 minutes before, an hour, a day, a week, and it just keeps harassing you until you do it.
And then you have to do it. And then yeah, I've got like a study one, so then if I don't necessarily go to my lectures, then I'll put in exactly when I'm going to do it, so it's still like kind of timed, so then I don't just let them pile up. And then yeah, just having people in my classes that remind me to do things is good.
Cool. So both of you have been at George's for 3 and 4 years respectively, almost. How has St George's assisted you in the transition from school to uni?
So for me, big thing was like the friend group and like moving from obviously school and having your whole year around you to help you get through everything, and then like coming into St George's and having like already a family and friends kind of thing. So engineering, there's pretty much a lot of engineers at St George's, so we all came in a group and we started like similar units at the same time, and even if you're not doing the same ones, eventually like you'll do the units that other people have done. So it was cool just like automatically having that rather than having to like search for it at uni, because some people that are doing like the maths unit in Eng might not be doing another one, so then you have to have like 6 different friends for each unit kind of thing. And then also having tutorials and stuff, so St George's runs, if a resident has done really well in a unit before, then they can tutor it. So Beckwith does that a lot. And he helps me lots get like assignments done and work out stuff that I don't know because he's done it before. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing is the friends who are studying the same thing as you. I mean, I found that with the friends I made over at uni, you do a unit with them for a semester, then you don't see them for like half of your degree, and then you see them again in 3rd year. So you're going to go through your entire degree with maybe one friend who might do the same units as you, but not in the same sequence, so you won't have that consistent study friend. Whereas when I first got here, I had 5 other guys studying engineering and physics, and I've had them all the way through, like even to now, we're still studying the same thing. We can get together, we have study groups, we talk about what units we're going to do, and I think that makes it so much better than just living from home. Because I mean, my brother lives at home and he does uni as well, and I think the difference is that he needs to actually like plan out when he needs to get up in the morning and like figure out how much time it takes for him to get to uni. He needs to factor in traffic and all that stuff. I roll out of bed like 20 minutes before class, head over, I'm there. I'm never going to miss a class. That's probably the most convenient part about living here, and it's just the fact that all the meals are provided for. You've got free unlimited Wi-Fi, you've got a laundry and everything that's like right here. I don't need to worry about when I get back from a full day of uni, what am I going to have for dinner? Do I need to make lunch for tomorrow? What am I going to have for breakfast? It's all sorted. I don't have to worry about that. I can just focus on my studies, which is just so much better.
So, $1 million question. What do you wish you knew before you started studying at uni?
Very, very hard question. Probably that fact that like no one's gonna push you to do anything kind of thing, and you've got to like you're literally hitting the ground running. And also actually in units they're gonna start with stuff that you definitely already know, and you're like, oh, I already know this, like I'll skip this stuff and go to the next stuff. But then like there'll be little bits in there that you don't know, and then in like week 6 they'll be like, oh yeah, remember this thing that we taught you in week 1, and you didn't watch week 1 because you were like, I knew that stuff. So watch it even if you think you know it.
Yeah, I think the other thing I wish I knew is UWA will do your timetable for you. It's like some classes, like lectures, for example, are fixed at a particular time. Everyone goes to that because it's a lecture. It's just like showing up to a class in high school. Then you'll have labs and tutorials that can be slotted in anywhere. And I kind of wish I knew when I first got here that UWA does a thing called preference entry way before the start of a semester when you first enroll. And you can go through and it's like first in, first served. You get the entire list of all the classes that are available, all the days, all the times, and you can pick in advance what you want your timetable to look like. And then when the actual timetable allocations open, it automatically slots you in. So I didn't know that when I first enrolled, and I got absolutely stuffed over, and I had classes at 8 AM on a Friday and then a few at like 4 PM on a Tuesday, when I could have literally all just chucked them on a single Wednesday and then would have had the rest of the week free. So I really wish I knew that timetable preferences were a thing in my first year.
For me, it was the opposite because I worked that out and then I was so stressed out because there's so many options and then you have to click the preference for every single one. And I was like, this is too much. And then I worked out after that semester that you could just wait until the CAS one and then just pick it and see how it looks and be happy with that. Because for me, lots of my friends that didn't live at college and stuff would try and put it all in one day. So they just had to travel to uni for one day. But for me, I like spreading it out and just having maybe 2 classes a day or one a day. So then you can just prep for that class and spend that day doing work for that class kind of thing. Because I only live 5 minutes away and I'm lucky that my jobs have been pretty much at college and very flexible and stuff. So I can just pick when I want to do them. So then I can just walk over to uni for the 2-hour class and then walk back. And then if there's one in the afternoon, walk back over. I don't have to sit around all day for it.
I think the final one's probably unit codes as well. I mean, when you're first enrolling into uni for the first time, you see all the engineering science codes are ENSC and then it's a whole bunch of numbers. And you look at that and they're trying to expect you to enroll between anywhere from 4 if you just don't want to enroll for 1 semester at a time, 4 to 8 units for a full-time load. And you've got the handbook and it just has all these lists of units and they've got this big, massive, long list of prereqs and stuff and just trying to navigate that jungle of unit codes. If you look up UWA and then insert majors, so it's UWA Engineering study plan. UWA has actually put together these timetables and has every single unit code every semester across every year to give you an idea of when you need to do them when. So instead of me sitting there when I first enrolled stressing going how the hell am I going to fit in this unit here and this one here, it just does it for you and then you just follow that all the way through your degree. It's
very handy.
So open up to our audience. Do you guys have any questions that you want to ask or any queries?
What are you thinking of doing next year?
I'd actually like to do physics as well.
Okay.
Just a single major.
Yep.
Although I'd like to ask, how would you feel someone would do if they haven't done maths specialist in high school to do a sort of bridging course for physics?
Yeah, so I actually had a friend who didn't do specialist math and then came into physics with me. You will be all right if you do the bridging unit and then continue on with physics. It just means that it'll push back the first year math units by a semester. And that's not the end of the world because you can do both of them at the same time in the second semester of the year after you've done the bridging unit, and then you're all set for the following year because all the first year physics units don't have those math units as a prereq because, it's first year. The only thing I would add is that the bridging unit doesn't do a great amount of work on a topic called complex numbers, which you'll do a lot of in specialist math. So my friend had a rough adjustment period because he needed to reteach himself complex numbers to a greater depth than what was taught in the bridging unit. So if you're thinking about so if you haven't done specialist, it's not the end of the world. It'll just be a little bit harder and you might need to do just a little bit extra work when you hit second year to just figure out complex numbers. But once you get them, they're easy.
Yeah, so I had that for engineering. I didn't do chemistry in high school and chemistry is a prereq. So I did the chemistry bridging course for the semester. It didn't push me behind at all. I just did the 2 maths at the same time and it all worked out in the long run. And yeah, I just found that it's a lot more concise of what you're actually going to need in the degree instead of doing 2 years of maths for...
That said, usually when you pick up a physics unit or an engineering unit, even if there is background math, they'll still kind of show you how it's done anyway.
Yeah.
So in the units I had that involved complex numbers, they still went back and explained from the ground up complex numbers and then went and chucked them into the equation. So you're not going to be left behind.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
One other bonus with college is that we have the tutoring program, which is free. So you can actually just put in the unit you're doing and we'll find you a tutor, and that's you'll get a tutorial once a fortnight, or if you need more time then you can do once a week. And so that also help, a lot of people use that for units because you do sometimes get a bit swept off your feet and you go, whoa, hang on, can't quite work this out. So that's also something that's available and really, really good to make use of if you do want to make use of that. So so I think we're pretty much ready to finish up. So do you guys have any other last questions before we finish up?
So there's an opportunity to have just a casual chat with Morgan and Braden as well now, if you want to. Yeah, if you've got any more questions.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's time.
I'd say before I came to St George's, I thought that everyone might be a little bit snobby, a little bit uptight. I don't know, that's just for some reason, the vibe I thought I'd get. But as soon as I came here, I was completely wrong. Everyone's just lovely and chill and funny, and everyone loves a good meme. Everyone gets around, one another. We're all just good mates. I think that's the most important thing about St George's. Everyone is good mates, and everyone knows each other, and it's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I didn't really have much of a preconception of St George's because all I could see was stuff over the internet, being an exchange student from the UK. However, upon arrival, St George's really blew me away. It's not just like a building, it's like a community. There's such a good support base here from admin and your peers, and there's so much to get around that it's just the best place to be, I'd say. Definitely.
Coming from the country, or in John's case, coming from England, I suppose a worry from some people and from your parents can be that you're sort of on your own in a new place with no family or that many friends. But I think the magic of college and the magic of O Week is that as soon as you come in the first day or two, or at least by the end of the week, you've made probably 100 new friends, 200 new friends, and I definitely think that I'm going to have friends for life, which is really cool. John here, friends in England. Yeah, no, but you're leaving, but you're still with us.
Yeah, no, I'd completely agree with Reuven. Even sort of coming mid-year O Week, so it was just a bunch of us international exchange students. So although sort of college was already in session, it was so easy to integrate with everyone already at college, as well as sort of make friends with other exchanges. And it's the best thing, I think, George's being the smallest college, because everyone's gonna at some point talk to one another, and so you just build that community and friendship.
Yeah.
And just sort of be friends forever, I guess.
It's like living in an enormous house with your best mates.
Yeah. The biggest share house there is.
The biggest share house.
See you at St. George's.
It's so cringy. Yeah.
When I first came, I kind of had an idea of what to expect because I'd seen the website. I've had a few friends that have been here before as well. But when I came, Ian was really nice, the admin was really nice, gave me a really nice tour of the whole college, got to meet a few people, and so I think it's definitely lived up to expectations so far.
Before I moved into college, I had a few friends that had been through it, and they told me how welcoming and how much of a family it was like. However, I wasn't really expecting just the extent of the support network through the admin to just the RAs who really look after you and always check in on you. It was really easy to settle into college. As I said, the support network is really vast. Everyone's really got your back, even just your fellow students. Everyone checks in on you. There's always events to really bond, and so there's no one really left behind.
Yeah, like Tom said, I think the friendships we've made so far has really helped us. We haven't felt for a single minute, especially for myself, that I've been away from home. Some of the people I've met, it's been 2 months already, but I feel like I've known them for a lifetime, and even the admin, Ian, the kitchen staff even, I feel like I know them all really well personally, which I think is very different, and it helps us to settle in really well. I think Clubbies is a really good place to hang out because you have ping pong on one side, you can just play with a few people, and then there's a TV there as well. You can play Xbox, watch Foxtel, watch Netflix. I think it's a really good communal place for everyone to get around it together.
Yeah, I would probably have to agree. Clubbies is a great place to hang out. There's a lot of competitions and a lot of camaraderie there, whether it's Netflix and just hanging out. There's always something going on there every single day, and it's just a great place to hang out. Hope to see you at St. George's.
This song is by one of my favourite artists ever, Kate Miller Heidke. I really love her music because it's got this gorgeous mix between classical and pop vocals. And, you know, as a classical music student, it's really interesting to delve into that kind of singing. The song itself means for me taking the little moments of joy and happiness in life and really stretching that emotion, really riding that feeling as far as it can possibly go. And it's really important for me at the moment because my granddad recently passed away, and for me the most important thing to do is to keep hold of the beautiful moments and keep thinking about them as often as possible. I woke up this morning, made a pot of coffee. I went out onto the stairs to sit in the sun. I haven't been myself, I know I haven't been much fun. But I woke up this morning and the air tastes different. Ooh, the fire in the gut. Ooh, kills the worm that haunts us. Ooh, I'm all shook up. I'm all shook up, and I'm gonna ride this feeling as far as it goes. I'm gonna ride this feeling. I don't know whether I'm flying or falling, but I'm gonna ride this feeling. Then all of a sudden I knew I was dreaming, and for some reason I decided to take off my clothes. Then I jumped off a cliff, just spread my arms and flew all the way across Canada to see you. And I'm gonna ride this feeling as far as it goes. I'm gonna ride this feeling. I don't know whether I'm flying or falling, and I'm gonna ride this feeling all the way down. Ooh, the fire in the gut. Ooh, kills the worm that haunts us. Ooh, I'm all shook up. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. Just get out of the way and ride. And ride this feeling as far as it goes. I'm gonna ride this feeling. I don't know whether I'm flying or falling, and I'm gonna ride this feeling all the way down.
Hi, my name's Sophie.
Hi, I'm
When I first came,
Hi,
I kind of had an idea of
I'm
what to
Sarah.
expect because
I
I'd seen the
decided to come to
website.
St. George's
I've
because,
had a few friends
my
that have
brother
been here
was
before
here
as
and
well.
some friends were coming,
But when I came,
and I also saw
Ian
the
was really
campus
nice,
and
the admin
liked
was
it
really
most.
nice, gave me a really nice tour of the whole
I
college.
decided to come to
got to
St.
meet a few
George's
people.
because I love the campus and the feel that I got from coming here on open day.
I decided to come to St. George's because the community is very, very small, and I'm an international exchange student, so I thought it would be easier to find friends. And also, I mean, we have a castle and it's Hogwarts.
I decided to come to St. George's because I had a lot of friends that had come here before and said it was really good, and I loved the tour and I loved the old building.
So I decided to come to George's, mainly my sister went to George's a few years ago. She just had the most amazing experience here, and I just wanted the same thing really.
My experience so far has been really fun. We've met a lot of people and yeah, it's been good fun.
It's been everything and more. It's been the best few months of my life probably. I've really, really loved it. Coming from a small country town and with a tight-knit community, it's been really reflected moving up here. It's so amazing. It's like one big family, always comfortable with everyone, and yeah, it's really, really great.
O Week was incredible and you got to meet so many new friends. It was like getting 200 new best friends in a week, and the vibe that you just got was sensational and I loved it.
The best part about living in St. George's is just being to wake up in the middle of the night, go out and knock at the door from your friends and just like have a little midnight chat and talk. And yes, you will do that.
I've loved meeting new people and seeing all the different events and just hanging around at college with everyone.
I love that there's always something going on, whether it be Compline or going to book club. You can always socialise, but then there's always space to downtime where you can go to the library and do some study.
And just being up in Perth and being able to go to uni nice and easily. The best part about college is always having someone to turn to whenever you've got like a problem with uni or at home, and it's just, yeah, it's really great having support around you. So at college we have quite a bit of support. We've got RAs, the student care office. They've helped me quite a bit with late minute assignment hand-ins.
I love my tute group and my RA. We always do tute group events, which is nice. We went down to the foreshore and we had some brekkie, which was lovely. It's always a nice time to bond.
If I need some help with my studies, Scott is always there, and I really love the RAs because they're always like have an open ear and you come to them all the time and you don't need to go to your own RA, and yeah, I really like that.
And our RAs are super helpful for when we've got problems with uni and stuff like that, and yeah, just our friends around us too is really good. My favourite place in St. George's would probably be the Quad. I also am in North and I really like it up there, North G.
I really like Rogerson Cafe because it's a space where everyone can come together, where you can play snooker, make a Milo.
If you want to be alone and have like a bit of a quiet time, go to the front lawn and sit at one of the benches underneath the big trees. And if you want to be social, just go to the sofas outside of Reynolds' room. It's quite nice because there are a lot of people always hanging around and you can see whatever is going on.
My favourite place at college is probably the dining hall because there's always someone new to talk to when you're at lunch or when you're at dinner. It's just really fun.
Clubbies is alright sometimes. I don't even have a favourite place. I love everything about it. The Quad sitting out there in the sunshine is really beautiful. Anywhere, yep, I love it all.
My favourite meal so far would probably be the one that we had burgers and then we had churros as well for dessert, so that was a pretty good meal.
I love breakfast. They always have a really good supply of things and it's definitely my favourite meal, whether it be having the hot food option or just normal cereal and toast.
My favourite meal is Mexican night. It's just really yum.
Definitely Mexican night is my favourite meal at college. It is so good.
I love breakfast because sometimes there's cinnamon buns and they're really, really good.
See you at St. George's.
Hi, I'm Charlotte. I'm studying marine science and I'm currently in my master's degree.
Hi, I'm Kat. I'm studying zoology and conservation biology. I'm in my second year at UWA and at St. George's.
I'm Taylor. I do environmental science and botany and I'm in my third year at George's and UWA.
Cool. So how did you all end up studying your different degrees?
Okay. Mine was a bit of a fluke, to be honest. I was in year 12 and applying for uni and had no idea what I wanted to do. So I ended up enrolling in environmental science and architecture. I quickly left architecture because I realised I hated it, and then swapped into botany because I just have like always loved plants, and then from there that just became like what I love studying, and environmental science has become like the side subject.
I actually started doing zoology and marine science. I also quickly learned that I hated physics of the ocean, just wasn't really quite my thing. So then I got into conservation biology, and I think it pairs really well together. So both majors can bounce off each other, which I think is, really awesome.
So I actually started doing my university studies in the UK. I did 2 years of biological sciences, and then was meant to come on a 1-year exchange to UWA to try out marine science. It was something that I'd always wanted to do, but wasn't sure if I wanted to commit straight from my degree. So I came here for a year, loved it so much I transferred my degree to UWA. College hasn't been able to get rid of me since then. I graduated from my undergrad last year, and I'm now in my final semester of my master's degree. So it was sort of, again, kind of a little bit of an accident that I just loved it as much as I did, and then decided that, didn't want to go home.
And what do you enjoy most about like each of your respective degrees?
Just start again.
Okay. What do I enjoy most? I like that it's very different. So it's like there's no maths because I hate maths, but every subject is really different. So it's like it's not like, I don't know, where you're doing physics and you're just doing physics all the time. It's like 1 week you're learning about a marine system, and next week I'm learning about like tropical rainforest, and it just changes all the time. I think that's what keeps me interested in it, so that's why I love it.
Yeah. I'm a pretty practical person, so I really enjoy that. My degree is really hands-on. I get to go on field trips and do labs and all that sort of thing, and I learn about really, really random things. Like the other day we had a lecture on like lizards that squirt blood out of their eyes, like really, really random stuff, and I just think that's so cool and interesting that no one else gets to learn about that. So yeah.
For marine science, I think the best part about my degree is that even though it's a fairly big cohort, you learn pretty quickly the people who are super dedicated to it, and there's a lot of really, really good teaching staff at UWA because we have the Indian Oceans Institute. So you have researchers doing really cool stuff, like people looking at whale sharks and people looking at kelp forests. And because they're giving lectures and they really enjoy what they do, it means that you can get in contact with them, and there's lots of opportunities to help out with their research or learn some more and just build up those connections. But also, if you're interested in the marine world, learning about it from people who are genuinely studying it and are like going out doing field work all the time, it brings it more to life, I think.
So on the flip side of that question, what have you found most difficult about studying at UWA?
Don't make me start again. I got to think about that one.
I came straight to uni from school, and it's not your normal like 9 till 3:30. You've got to keep yourself motivated. Like there's no one there like, come on, like hurry up, like let's go. You've got to like put in the work and like do it yourself, which I think I found like the biggest like change. Yeah.
I think the biggest challenge for my degree is that it's very interdisciplinary. So obviously it's a lot of biology, but then there's physics doing oceanography, and there is like water chemistry and these sorts of things. So you not only have to be good at your different sciences, and you have to like be able to change your way of thinking depending on the unit and the assignment that you're doing, but you also then have to be good at writing too. So it's one of those degrees where you, unlike some other science degrees where you don't really have to do that much writing of big reports or like essays, marine science you do. So you kind of have to like keep all of your skills sharp. You have to be like able to switch between them, which can be really challenging, but also when you get it right, it's super rewarding because you've got all those different skills you can bring together.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I think like uni itself is like difficult, like it's not meant to be easy. And so I think getting used to that thought process was what was hard for me, because like I came from high school, and obviously getting into uni, you're like in, you know, the top whatever of your year group or something like that. And so high school came quite easily for me, and then getting to uni and then realizing that it was actually supposed to be challenging and supposed to be hard was really hard to like readjust my mindset to that. And yeah, and then readjust like my work habits and like how I study and stuff like that to the level that uni is, I guess.
So I know you're all quite busy people, and you guys have all been fairly involved in college and like outside commitments. So how have you found balancing that with your degree?
So I'm doing my master's. I'm also a residential advisor at college, which means that I look after a floor of people, and I'm there for whatever they need, whether it's uni work, personal stuff. We're a solid team of RAs looking after people. I'm also a member of the college's a cappella group called the Mockingbirds, and I also tutor several units at college. And like the biggest tip is organisation, just being very on top of it, very proactive, not necessarily scheduling yourself so you have every minute of the day sorted, but like being very aware of when your assignments are due and making the most of the time that you have. I've enjoyed everything that I do, and I wouldn't give it up for anything. But it does get stressful, and the way that you get around it is just, sheer organisation.
I'm the secretary at college, so it's pretty busy. But yeah, again, organisation and time management and just knowing what you need to get done. So obviously every Sunday we have committee meetings, and I organise like the calendar and a few other things like that. So I try and make sure I've got everything done before I need to, and I've got calendars and timetables just to like make sure I really do stay on top of it. So
yeah, so I'm also an RA with Charlotte, and I work a few days a week as well. And I think I'm a little bit different to you two. My life is chaos, and that's just how it works, and things happen as they happen. And I have a calendar with like everything written down and things like that, but you know, sometimes things happen and it's like, oh, that half a day just disappeared. So I don't really plan a lot, to be completely honest. I just sort of go, this is where I have to be places, and then fill the rest of my time with uni and see what happens.
So you've already touched on the differences between school and uni. How has St George's helped you with that transition?
I think George's, like, obviously going from school straight to moving out of home and studying at uni, I think that'd be really tricky. I think George's just makes your life easier in the sense that you don't have to cook. You've got awesome people here that can help you with that, and like cleaning, and George's has all these like tutoring services, so if you're struggling they can give you help. I think it's a really good middle ground between being at home and completely being out of home, and I found that super helpful. I can focus more time on studying rather than like, what am I going to cook for dinner? So yeah, I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, definitely. All like the facilities and stuff like that, so we don't have to think about cooking, don't have to think about like cleaning, all that sort of stuff. But also for me, it's been a really great stepping stone to gain some independence, because I've gone from living with my parents and then coming here. I'm not completely responsible for like, you know, food and things like that. So like I know I'll stay alive, but I've had to become more responsible for like what I'm doing with my time and how I manage things in my life, I guess.
Yeah, I think even though I'd already done uni and already made that transition before I came to St George's, St George's definitely helped with the adjustment to living away from home and living so far away from home and being an international student. So we've got such a good staff that work at St George's, and they know about pretty much anything you can ask them a question about, and if they don't know, they will find the answer for you. So especially when you're living in a foreign country, even though it's not that different from the UK, there are a lot of things that are different. So just having that network of people, and then also having a family, being so far away from home is just invaluable, because uni is stressful and having that support is so important. And even if you're not coming from the other side of the world, maybe you've come from down south and you really don't know very many people here, no one went to your high school, you kind of feel alone. You're not going to be alone at St George's. Like, they become your family and they look after you, and I think that's really, really important.
And so is there anything that you wish you knew before you started studying at uni? It's kind of $1 million question.
I think just how uni works, it's very different to school. I think with timetabling and knowing what some fun elective units are before you kind of come, I think that would have been really cool. I could have done ukulele in my first sem rather than in my second year, or just like how timetabling works and all that sort of thing, like getting on top of it. I think that's, like just looking into that and just making an effort before you come.
I was going to say mine would more be understanding how the classes work. So, you know, you go to lectures and it's like you're given information, but it's also like your responsibility to like learn it again. Whereas like in high school, that was more like, you know, you're more spoon-fed in high school. And so like, that was what I found difficult and would appreciate knowing before I started.
I think for me that the biggest thing I wish I'd known was that there is so much help available to you. So at school, you're in a class of 30 people and you know your teacher and you can put your hand up and ask questions and you can go to the teacher after class and you will have seen this teacher maybe for sort of like 3 or 4 years at school. So it's not a problem to go and ask for help, and they will always ask if you don't understand, if you need more explanation. But when you're at uni, that doesn't happen. You're in a lecture of 300 people, the lecturer will come and deliver the content. Obviously you can ask questions, but then they'll pack their things and they'll leave. But that doesn't mean that they don't want to help you. It's just a situation where you have to go and ask for that help, and as soon as you ask for it, they will give you all the help in the world. And it's the same with college. There's no judgment about it. They will just give you the help that you need.
So we're just about out of time, but is there anything that you guys think that you want to add, or any other like tips for people who are watching from home and a bit unsure about like the way to go forward from here, from high school and applying and all that kind of stuff?
I think the really important thing to remember is that whatever you think you want to do now is not what you have to finish doing. Like, I remember having so much stress thinking that like I have to like enroll in the right thing at the beginning because that's what I'm going to finish with. But like once I started, I was like, actually it's really easy to change. It's really flexible. You can like, there's so many options. I guess that would be like my one piece of advice.
That's cool. I think slightly leading on from that, it's such a cool opportunity moving out of home and going to uni and trying something new. So make sure to take advantage of all of the opportunities that gives you, and don't be afraid to fail, because even though it might feel like a big thing now that you've got X wrong or you haven't done this, there's always people that can help you fix it, and in 20 years time you're not even going to remember that it happened. So be brave and like take advantage of everything that you're going to get offered at this point in your life.
I feel like college as well, like I came from over east, so I knew absolutely no one, but college is just the best place to make friends and just to have people that understand you and can support you, and it's super awesome.
I have a question as well. What sort of things can you get involved in at St George's College?
There's a lot. There's so much stuff. So leadership wise, there's lots of different positions, the exec, the committee that run lots of such a wide and diverse range of events. Residential advisors like these guys help look after people. Music, sports,
tutoring.
Even just like being involved in the events that we run. So like the committee run the events, but even if you're not on committee, you can be a part of helping like organise them and things like that. Like I know for the past 2 years I've helped organise the ball and the play, and there's just so much random stuff that happens at college that is so easy to get involved in.
And also we have formal dinners and these really cool chats that we do next to one of our fireplaces, where you get to meet often people who used to come to George's and are like really high up in their professions now, and you get the opportunity to sit and have a fancy dinner with them or listen to them talk. So you don't even have to like necessarily do much for that. You just put your name down on a sheet and you get a fancy 3-course dinner, and you get the knowledge that these people have to give you. So it's there's so many ways depending on how much commitment you want to give, how much time you have to give, and where what you want to do.
Awesome. Thank you so much for giving it your time, guys.
Three little birds sat on the window. They told not to worry. The sun became like cinnamon, so sweet. Little girls never touch on the concrete. Maybe sometimes when we've got it wrong so far, the more things seem to change, the more they stay the same. Don't you hesitate, girl, do records on, tell me your favorite song, Sapphire jeans, I'll take your dreams, you're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. Blue as the sky, sunburned and lonely. Times we have by the roadside. Just relax, don't you let those other boys fool you. Better love that Afro hairdo. Don't you think it's strange, girl? Put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead like yeah. Sapphire jeans, don't get your dreams. Just go ahead like yeah. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. Just more than I can take. 18 for pity's sake. Sometimes I thought that I was stronger. When you gonna realize that you don't even have to try longer. Don't you want to, girl? Put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, yeah. Sapphire jeans, don't get your dreams. Just go ahead, yeah. Girl, tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, yeah. Sapphire jeans, don't get your dreams. Just go ahead, yeah. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow.
Hi, my name's Charlotte and I'll be your guide for this tour. I'm originally from the UK and this is my third year living at St George's College. I'm in my final year of a Masters of Marine Biology. Our college is situated on the Swan River, just a 5-minute walk from the campus of the University of Western Australia and a short bus ride into Perth City Centre. Follow me and let's see what's behind the walls of our beautiful castle. All the basics are provided for you. A bed, desk, chair, storage. All you need to bring is a suitcase full of clothes, maybe some decorations, and of course your computer. Let's go have a look inside my Tia's room.
Hi, welcome to my room. As you can see, I've personalized it, as you'll be able to do too. Each room will be provided with a bed as well as a study table, and if you're lucky, you'd be able to score a balcony too. Each room will come with air conditioning as well as unlimited Wi-Fi and will be cleaned once a week. All these services will be provided in your college fee. So I've actually got some laundry to do, so why not you guys come along and I'll show you the laundry room.
So this is one of our many laundry areas at college. Washing machines and dryers provided are free to use for all residents. Alright, so while I wait for my washing, let's go and meet Charlotte again in our clubbies room. So this is our clubbies room. This is where majority of residents at St. George's come to hang out, watch a bit of TV, or even play a game of ping pong. It's one of my favorite spaces here. So I'm actually going to wait here for my laundry, but in the meantime, Charlotte's going to show you around another part of college.
Follow me. Everyone here at St. George's wants you to be successful and have a great time. So, if there's anything that might impact your well-being, your experience, or your academic performance, we've got a team that's here to help you.
Hi, I'm Sam, and I'm the Dean of Students here at the college. When you live at St. George's, and you aren't sure where to go to find help, or you want to speak to someone, come into the Student Care Centre and a member of our team will be able to provide advice and a listening ear. We can help you with a wide range of support, from giving guidance with your studies, to providing resources on mental health, or referring you to other university services. Please feel free to come in and have a chat with us anytime.
Check out the other videos on the website to see the dining hall and other parts of the college. Thanks for joining me, and see you at St. George's.
I crafted my features to match your stare, and now I'm so lost because you're no longer there. I wrote on the mirror and I begged not to fall, but now that you're leaving I feel nothing at all. All this confusion, all these things I want to say, but I'm sure the pressure in my head will clear along with the tears someday. You'll leave in the morning and 6 months will pass. This will look like a daydream that we both knew couldn't last. Everything looks so much clearer just 2 weeks ago. I guess that's just proof you never really know. All this confusion, all these things I want to say, but I'm sure the pressure in my head will clear along with the tears someday. From waking up upon my bed to waking up inside my head, you've moved into a different state of mind. I wish we had the chance to talk before you had to let me walk out that door one last time. All this confusion, all these things I want to say, but I'm sure the pressure in my head will clear along with the tears someday. I'm sure the pressure in my head will clear along with the tears someday.
You go.
Honestly, I didn't really expect much. I kind of went into St. George's with like a very open mind, you know, and I thought that was lovely because O-Week, you could not expect O-Week. It was incredible.
Oh
the
my
amount
God.
of shenanigans you got up to is honestly beyond
Literally
any thought comprehendable.
I know every time, like every single time there was something in O-Week, I was like, oh, you got me again. Like I felt like I was the most gullible person ever because like every time I'd be like, yeah, they got me again. They got me again. Like it was so entertaining. But like I don't know, because I had my sister kind of come here before me, so like I've kind of always known I was going to come to George's, and I feel like the expectations, I don't know, she just like literally all I knew from all her stories was like it's going to be fun. It's going to be so much fun. So that was my only expectation.
Definitely Morgs our RA.
Yeah,
yeah, she's an angel, honestly.
Oh, she's so amazing. Like, the amount of times we'd come out of our doors or something, I'd nearly step on a packet of Tim Tams or something because Morgs has just been like sneaking past our rooms again and just dropping off Tim Tams for us, or just like, even just when she's around, like just having a little chat to her, like, oh, it's the best thing. Like,
and definitely, I suppose, also knowing that everyone else is in the same position as well, like
Yeah.
all the freshers and stuff, it's so easy
Yeah.
to relate to everyone. And if you're having a hard time, it is so likely the person next to you is like, oh yeah,
yeah,
that's
also
not too
struggling
great.
as well.
And, yeah, it's
Exactly.
beautiful.
And like given that, like freshers and like the returners also bond so quickly because like all of them are like really open to like talk to you guys, and like they're really excited to meet you basically. So like from the older years being excited to meet you, you kind of like, you open up even more because you're like, oh, I really want to get involved here because obviously they want to get to know me, so you feel really good.
I feel like it's definitely part of the culture here. Like you
Yeah.
know, like no one's like we were told in freshman, like no one's too cool for college, you know, and the age gap doesn't matter. Like it's definitely part of like the ethos and the environment where everyone is so open and accepting of who you are. It's really
Literally,
lovely.
I know, it's so good.
Yeah, St. George's.
name's Matthew. I'm studying medical science in my second year at uni at UWA.
Hi, my name's Thirushi. I'm also in my second year of medical sciences at UWA.
And I'm Alicia, also in my third year of medical sciences at UWA.
Hi guys, thanks for coming today. So we just wanted to know, how did you end up studying your degree?
I chose to do medicine. My brother does it as well. He's 3 years ahead of me. So it's a bit of a last minute decision actually. He sort of did it and I thought about it for a couple of years and I thought maybe I'll do that as well.
Yeah, so for me it's more I decided to do med because I was going through all the options for me in uni and I just thought that working with people and like the career path was just the one that was right for me.
Well, I definitely like a challenge every day and I love like sciences and helping people, so I thought this was the best fit of all the subjects that I could have picked at uni, and yeah, it has been so far.
Cool. What did you enjoy most about studying med?
I think just always being engaged in what you're learning. Like there's a lot of depth you can go into, there's a lot of detail and there's quite a lot of good things you can do. I think that's, like what Alicia said, there's always like a challenge to always have something there for you. I think that's a good big thing for me.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's like you always get pushed. It's not going to be easy, but it's not so difficult that it absolutely drains you. It's just like always keeping you interested in wanting to do more.
One of the best things I find about studying med is like every time you have to push yourself further and be the best person you can. Like every year it gets harder and every year you have to improve yourself just to like maintain your status in the cohort, but it's constantly a journey of like self-improvement.
So for our audience who's just joined us, so we're just doing a little chat about medicine and how these guys have found experiencing like studying that. So next question for you is, what have you found most difficult about studying your degree?
I think for most things in uni, transition from high school to uni is obviously hard, but I think personally for me, the transition from first year to second year med has been a big step up, like a big step up. I think, would you say the same thing? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
The SEM I think was a very difficult thing, and you still have to grow up quick in terms of learning how to study for information presented in a much different way to what you're used to.
It's a lot more focused learning than like high school and year 12, year 11s, like very specific things and very specific concepts that you really expand on. So it's difficult.
I think I found the most challenging with studying med is it's a very high contact hour degree, and like just trying to balance the rest of my life around university to still make sure I have a social life, work and sport. That's probably been the hardest thing, to not drop everything else whilst still studying.
Do you have, well, that ties in well to the next question, do you have any other commitments beside your coursework, and how have you found balancing those with your university degrees?
So yeah, I do quite a bit of volunteering here and there for a few different organisations, and it's been like, it's good. Obviously, it's something that I feel is necessary, but sometimes it can get tricky when you're expected to do such and such for the organisation, but also keep on top of your uni work and also like be a part of college, and like and like the certain expectations that you set for yourself. It can be quite tricky, but again, it's just balancing and having a good understanding of how to do things in a timely manner.
I think for me, because I'm an RA at college, the biggest thing is being organised ahead of time, because you can plan your uni work really. Whether you do it or not is another matter. Getting that done is important so you can make room for other things in your life.
Yeah, so like we're all RAs at colleges, and like trying to balance that along with other jobs as well. So I work like 2 nights a week somewhere else. I play sport, and then I'm also just meeting up with friends. I find it's challenging, but you can manage it all.
You get a very full life.
Yeah.
That's good. And so how has St George's specifically assisted you in the transition from school to uni? Because that can be quite a jump.
I'd say college takes almost all the pressure off of developing your social connections. When it's easier to make friends when you step out your door and talk to people, it's a lot easier to do and balance your uni work. I think that's probably the biggest part for me, because I don't know, I think if you weren't in such like a concentrated place of like-minded people studying the same things, it'd be a lot more difficult to meet the new people while still balancing the other side of your life.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the best transition from high school to uni life. Like, it just makes everything so much easier, and it's well situated too. Like, it's across the road. 5 minutes is all you need to get to your lecture theatre, and it's just fantastic. It's really, like Matt said, just the social aspect of life after you move on from high school is just made really easy with college.
I honestly think that my transition from high school to university would have been a lot different if I hadn't come to college. So I came from a small country town, I took a gap year, and so consequently when I started university, no one else from my cohort of the 5 people who actually went to uni were at university with me. And I think that I don't know if I'd be in the same position now if I hadn't have come to college and met friends. Like, you've got people studying the exact same degree as you who can tell you how to do things, whereas like if I had have just gone and rented in a house by myself, I would have been struggling to find all of this information by myself and do it alone, whereas at college you're never alone, there's someone who can help you.
Yeah, because actually all 3 of us are we're outside of Perth, and so our families aren't really like super close, and you know, we're moving to this big
You
city,
don't have that
and it's
support
like,
network around you.
Yeah.
I think a big thing is like what Alicia said, having people that study the same thing helps a lot.
Absolutely.
And then college has like a tutoring system where people who've taken units before can tutor you, and that's a big help as well. It's just an extra resource you can use.
What do you guys wish you knew before you started studying at uni?
How much easier it is when you actually plan to do your work on time. It sounds like an obvious thing, but it can be very easy to put off uni work, and at the same time, if you just do it then, it's so much easier in the long run. A big favour to your future self.
I found that in high school, a lot of my teachers were like, oh, university is going to be so much easier than year 12. And for some degrees that might be the case, but obviously you've got to put in time to it. But I found that going into uni was a lot harder for me than year 12, and just having that sort of like false expectation set up, oh, it'll be a breeze. I probably didn't study as much as I should have in my first semester, and that sort of caught me by unaware. So yeah, definitely that.
Knowing how much self-directed learning was also like expected as a uni student would have helped as well, just because in high school your teachers and your friends and like they pretty much like tell you everything that you need to know, but there is a lot of looking up your own thing and like finding your own research based on like what you need to do for your course.
And I think one of the things is that you're the only one accountable for your own learning. No lecturer's going to like tell you need to do this. It's up to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's like very like, I mean, you can still kind of make excuses, but there's less ability to do that.
No one to blame but yourself.
No, exactly. Yeah.
So one thing on the opposite scale, so we're looking back at college now, is what is your favorite? There's lots of events at college. What would you say would be your favorite, and kind of why, and yeah, how does that kind of enrich your experience while you're at uni and stuff?
I'd say every Thursday night there's Copland, which is like a choir sung chat, so it's like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and I think it's like a very small event. Like, it's every week. It's like a few people go. I think that's probably one of my favorite things. It's nice to just have a quiet night, like some really top quality music, and then just like talking, hang out with your friends. I think that's a big one for me.
Yeah.
One of my favourites is folk night, and like we do acoustic concerts as well. So I don't have much of a musical background, but at college we have a music program here, and we have a lot of good music students. And just hearing like them just playing for fun and like singing and playing piano and all of the other instruments, and then people get up and do comedy sometimes, and it's just a really nice way of getting to know the people that we live with and seeing different things.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with Alicia as well. I think folk night, acoustic night would probably be my favourite as well. But aside from events, because I'm not really big into like, you know, being very out there with events and all that, I really enjoy just going to dinner and lunch, and then having a nice chat with the people on my table, and like outside after you finish dinner or lunch, you sit down in the room outside the dining hall. It's called Elsie, and then just have a chat, have a tea. Like, it's really nice. So yeah, big community vibes.
Yeah.
Cool. What was your transition starting college life like for you?
I think like most people, it was busy. Like, it was very not chaotic, but there's a lot going on. It's your first summer uni, and you're introduced to 200 new people, and there's a whole new way of living. For some people, it's the first time living away from home. definitely good, definitely, and I think that's helped by college because that process can be scary, especially if you don't have any support there or anything like that. But you got to remember, like coming in, almost everyone is in the same boat as you. Everyone's coming there for the first time at uni, almost like people fresh out of high school, coming from home, and that helps a lot. You sort of get all in the same boat.
Well, my transition to college, it was pretty smooth, all things considered, but I only knew my sister, so we moved in at the same time, sort of thing, and trying to branch out and get to know other people. The funny thing is, I'm an identical twin, and so trying to get people to know us individually, it was a fun time, especially when 3 months of living here, they're like, oh, there's 2 of you. But now, after being here for 3 years, people can tell us apart as though we don't look the same at all. And I think the fact that 200 people can tell the difference between myself and my sister really brings home at how much of this is a family vibe sort of thing.
Yeah, I transitioned really quite well and quite quickly. And I think a lot of that was thanks to O Week, which is what we all go through as freshers. And we're all, pushed into this brand new environment together. Like Matt said, we're all in this together sort of thing. And we're given multiple opportunities to meet everyone who's come in new, and it's just absolutely fantastic. And so because of that, it's actually quite easy to live a nice, happy college life with people that you're really close to.
Cool. So we're almost kind of ready to wrap up, but one last question. What's the biggest difference that you found between school and uni? Because it's quite a jump.
I would say like what Alicia mentioned earlier, and through it's incredibly reliant on your own motivation and the amount of work you put in. School, you've always got people hounding you, good or bad, to do assignments, to do tests, to study for things. Uni, you can go a day, not read an announcement, and miss a test if you're not on it. Which I like. I like that a lot. I like being able to rely on yourself to get things done, because at the same time, then you can sort of build your life around how you want to run it, and that's a big plus for me because you can choose your classes, your schedule, things like that, and choose when you do your work. As long as you do your work, and then everything's alright.
Yeah, even though it's arguably more difficult coming into uni, it provides you much more freedom than high school can ever do. And that's one of the good things, I suppose. It's one of those things that you work for. Yeah.
I found that in high school everyone's like, oh, university's going to be so much better because you get to study what you choose, sort of thing. And in a way that is true, but I found that you still have to have the motivation to do it. And if the motivation is lacking, even if you really love the subject, then it's a little bit harder. But yeah.
Cool. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add before we wrap up. Any passing words of advice for anyone listening at home?
Come to college.
Yeah, pretty much. Cool. All right. Thank you so much for spending your time and helping us out.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Matthew Simmons. I'm in my 3rd year of university at UWA. I study genetics and chemistry. We have about 270 residents here at St George's College, and I'm lucky enough to be one of them. I'll be showing you my favourite spots around college, so come with me. So, we're here at the library. Now this is one of the many places at St George's College where you can have a quiet place to study. So let's go check it out, shall we? Okay, now we've seen some of the study areas around college. Let us go to Sophie now, who will show us their residential areas.
Hey, my name's Sophie. Let's go check out Sasha's room. In every room, there's air conditioning and unlimited Wi-Fi. We are provided with a bed, desk and chair, as well as a sink. Now, what I love about especially the old wing rooms is they're super comfortable and you can decorate them how you like, such as Sasha having a lot of plants, which I'm in awe of. Now let's go get lunch.
Here at St George's we have 3 meals a day. There's a variety of options and specials such as curry and Mexican nights. They always serve vegetarian options, and don't worry if you have special dietary requirements, the chefs will fix it up for you. Let's go eat.
This is Rogerton Cafe. This is one of the communal areas around college. So here at St George's you get 3 meals a day, but you can come down here to the communal kitchen and fix yourself a snack. People also come here after lunch to play pool, billiards and just generally hang with friends. Thank you for coming on the tour with us.
And there's other online tours that you can see. And see
you at St George's. Hey, I'm Matthew Simmons. I'm in my 3rd year of university at UWA. I study genetics and chemistry.
When I first came, I kind of had an idea of what to expect because I'd seen the website. I've had a few friends that have been here before as well. But when I came, Ian was really nice, the admin was really nice, gave me a really nice tour of the whole college, got to meet a few people, and so I think it's definitely lived up to expectations so far.
When before I moved into college, I had a few friends that had been through it, and they told me how welcoming and how much of a family it was like. However, I wasn't really expecting just the extent of the support network through the admin to just the RAs who really look after you and always check in on you. It was really easy to settle into college. As I said, the support network is really vast. Everyone's really got your back, even just your fellow students. Everyone checks in on you. There's always events to really bond, and so there's no one really left behind. Yeah, like Tom said, I think the friendships we've made so far has really helped us. We haven't felt for a single minute, especially for myself, that I've been away from home. You know, some of the people I've met, it's been 2 months already, but I feel like I've known them for a lifetime, and even the admin, Ian, the kitchen staff even, I feel like I know them all really well personally, which I think is very different, and it helps us to settle in really well. I think Clubbies is a really good place to hang out because you know, you have ping pong on one side, you can just play with a few people, and then there's a TV there as well. You can play Xbox, watch Foxtel, watch Netflix. I think it's a really good communal place for everyone to get around it together. Yeah, I would probably have to agree. Clubbies is a great place to hang out. There's a lot of competitions and a lot of camaraderie there, whether it's Netflix and just hanging out. There's always something going on there every single day, and it's just a great place to hang out. Hope to see you at St. George's.
What does living at St. George's mean to you?
Do you want to
You go first.
So what does living at St. George's mean to me? I moved to St. George's because we had to sell a house and it was essentially my new home. It sounds strange, but I swapped like 3 extra family members for 200 extra family members, which happened pretty quickly actually, so it's my home, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same as Eden. I had to come up here because I live from. I had to come up here because I'm from down south. So to come up to uni here, I needed somewhere to live, and it is like a new home, and it's just such an amazing place. There's so much community, so much feels, so much love.
How has St. George's helped you transition from high school into university?
So I think a lot of importance is placed on like year 12 as the be all and end all. You know, you've got so much pressure for like WACE and all of your exams, and it's just this massive thing. And you think, oh yeah, year 12, and then you go, okay, well I'm going to go to uni after that. But where do you go? You just go to uni. So I was at uni for 1 semester, living at home. And then I moved into St. George's the following semester, and it was just completely different.
I think George's does really well that it offers you a lot of support in community, in academics. If you're having a hard time coping being away from home, we have a lot of like links over the road to help you with mental health and all that sort of thing. So it just gives you that extra ease of accessibility to services that you probably wouldn't have gotten or know how to get if you're on your own. Trying to get through uni.
Yeah.
What opportunities has St. George's provided you with?
Yeah. So St. George's it's one of those amazing places. Like you think, okay, go to a college, but it's mainly just a place to live. This is, well, actually, no. You think of it as a place to stay, whereas St. George's it's a place to live. The opportunities that's so cheesy.
That was so cute.
Yeah, so cheesy. But yeah, I've said about like the bonds that you form with people here and the support you've got, but the opportunities that the college provides us with are just incredible. Like we've had guest speakers from all over the world with our formal dinners. So we'll have a guest speaker, amazing food, and everything from arts to science and politics. It's really something else.
We have an amazing music department. We're both part of the a cappella groups here, and it's something that I always sang in the shower. I mean, who doesn't sing in the shower? But it's something nothing I ever thought. You don't sing in the shower?
No, not really.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, it's not something I ever thought that I would find myself singing in front of people, but I do, and I love it. It is such good fun. Favourite part of the week is to go sing with my gals, the Mockingbirds. It's incredible what you get exposed to, and it's things that you get to try and do that you never thought or pictured yourself doing.
And
we'll see you at St. George's College.
Our eyes are going to be like looking down.
I know.
This feeling, as far as it goes, I'm gonna ride this feeling. I don't know whether I'm flying or falling, but I'm gonna ride this feeling. Then all of a sudden I knew I was dreaming, and for some reason I decided to take off my clothes. Then I jumped off a cliff, just spread my arms and flew all the way across Canada to see you. And I'm gonna ride this feeling as far as it goes. I'm gonna ride this feeling. I don't know whether I'm flying or falling. And I'm gonna ride this feeling all the way down. And I'm gonna ride this.
Hi, I'm Tiffany, and I'm at UWA studying a Bachelor of Philosophy, majoring in Chemistry and Law and Society.
I'm Nick, and I'm also at UWA doing a Bachelor of Arts, majoring in Political Science and International Relations and Chinese, and I'm in my second semester of third year right now.
Thanks, guys. How did you end up studying what you were studying?
I always get that question asked because I do Chinese, and my answer is always, it sort of just happened. I had to do a language in year 7, so I did Chinese, and then I just did it for no good reason in year 8 and 9, and then I decided, yeah, probably worth it, like it's a subject I've been doing for 3 years. I finished year 12 with it, and then I was good at it, and I was like, yeah, may as well get a university degree in that. So pretty random way to, study something. And then politics have just always been interested.
For me, probably a bit different. When I left high school, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, so I initially started doing biochemistry and English. Again, two arts and a science, but by the end of first year, I knew that I actually wanted to do synthetic chemistry and law, so I changed both my majors slightly, and I feel like it's a much better fit for me now.
Cool. And so what have you enjoyed most about your degree, while you've been studying?
For me, I'd probably say just having the combination of the arts and the science. I have lab work on one side, lots of reading on the other side, and people always say it's a strange combination, but it really keeps me interested, and I know that in the future it will let me branch out into a diverse range of career opportunities. So probably the breadth of what I've been able to study has been the best.
Yeah, for me, I think I've really enjoyed getting through my degree and sort of starting to actually realise that I'm learning something. So, for example, my third year units are obviously my first year units, but I find them a lot easier because it's just all accumulated knowledge, and it's just you don't realise, but all of a sudden you know a lot about a specific field, and it's kind of nice.
What have you found most difficult about studying your particular degree?
Probably studying my degree, like the actual study, you know, getting those hours done away from class and stuff. Like I usually head over the road from college to uni, so I'm actually put away from distractions. I go to one of the libraries and I try to like get a good shift of a couple hours done there. Yeah, because if I don't, you know, put myself in the right place and put my head down for a few hours, I can easily go, you know, a couple of days without getting any work done and falling behind.
For me, probably the most challenging thing for studying law has been learning how to research properly, and also like learning that in order to do like really well, you need to actually come up with your own original ideas, and like learning how to do that higher order thinking and like take something that someone else has written and like reflect on it more deeply yourself and build on it. And actually, I think in third year, having the confidence to say, like, these are my ideas and they're actually worth me writing an essay about. Like, I don't have to reference everything because like some stuff can come from me. So I think that's been a big learning curve this year.
So both of you are very, very busy people, and I know you're both quite involved in college, and obviously your degrees take up a fair bit of time. So how do you find balancing commitments and coursework and that kind of like, yeah?
So I have gotten pretty involved at college, probably, or definitely a lot more than UWA, and that would be we're both residential advisors, so we're sort of are employees of the college and have responsibilities there. But on top of that, I work with the college club, which is like the student volunteering body, which, you know, organises the events and stuff, and runs a lot of the social things at George's. So I'm the social officer there, and then on top of that, I do a little bit of stuff with like the music areas of George's. So that would be like singing for the male a cappella group, the Newbie Blues. So yeah, basically I've jumped into a few little areas at college, and I think it's been pretty manageable because it's all in one place, which doesn't hurt at all. Not just the stuff I'm involved with at college, but uni as well. You know, I could have 2 classes over the road and a rehearsal and a college club meeting in one day, and I don't have to leave a 1 kilometre like radius. So I'd say that is a big bonus. But other than that, yeah, I think you just need to make sure you have a good calendar and like keep an eye on things. I mean, at the same time, I forget some stuff fairly often, but do my best.
Yeah, so I am a residential advisor at college, and as well as I study, but I also work at a retail job. Probably find balancing that commitment the hardest, because I feel like being an RA at college, like, it's a big commitment, but it's also designed to fit in around your studies, and as long as you're pretty organised, it's something that gives you a lot of life skills, but just really melds in well to university life and kind of adds to it. So my biggest thing for trying to stay on top of everything is just timetabling absolutely everything, to-do lists, the whole deal, and also not overcommitting yourself. It's just like knowing how productive you can be and like sticking to that.
Yeah, just to add to that, definitely my biggest like extracurricular challenge in my 3 years of uni has been when I was still working the same job after I moved from home to college, and for my whole first semester, about 6 months, I was working shift work at a McDonald's, which was like a 45-minute drive from college, at least. And so yeah, that was pretty difficult, especially if I had like a late, like 2 a.m. finish, or, you know, obviously college has set meal times and stuff, so if I have to leave before that, I feel like I've missed dinner or anything like that. So yeah, definitely it's nice to keep things close.
So you mentioned that college has fixed meal times. Is there like a way around that if you have work or uni during the day?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously it's always nice to eat in the dining hall, but the kitchen staff is really, really good in terms of if you just like write your name on a list in the morning, or ask someone to do it, really easy to do, they'll make you up like a late dinner and pack it up and put it in a fridge, which is available all night. So if, you know, like I said, if I finish at 2 a.m, I just drop into the like a downstairs common room and grab a late dinner that's been packed for me. Or alternatively, you can actually go in at breakfast and you know, make a sandwich, get some fruit, get some like muesli bars, and, you know, with your breakfast, like pack a lunch. So there's, you know, plenty of options. It's not like if you don't eat between 6 and 7, you don't eat.
Yeah, no, I mean, hot lunch is always amazing, but like for me at uni, if I have a lab that runs through college lunchtime, or even if I just want to stay at uni in between classes, I quite often will grab a packed lunch, and then you're set and it's just sorted and you don't have to worry about anything.
What do you wish you knew before you started university?
For me, I really wish that I knew how flexible the UWA degrees were, and I wish that I knew that changing my major wouldn't be a big deal or the end of the world. And I probably also wish that I knew that the college environment was going to be so supportive with things like that as well. So with sort of academic and university administration issues, college can really help you with that and give you a little bit of guidance around that. So like I spoke to some college staff before I changed my major, and it really, really helped out there.
For me, after, you know, 12 odd years of going to school from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m, you know, you got sport before that or rehearsal after that, you know, big long hour days, you've got to get up at 6 every morning, you know, sometimes it's hard, but usually no probs. For me, I wish someone told me that for some reason it just doesn't keep up at uni. You're like, 8 a.m. class, no good, no good.
Yep. How has living at St George's assisted you in transitioning from school to university?
It's like, St George's is like a baby step to moving out properly, you know? It's like when you're like 17, 18, 19, you're not quite like a full adult yet, I don't know. You haven't got all those life experiences. You might not be as confident in the world, and St George's gives you so much pastoral care, and also it's just so convenient. Being across the road from university, there's like, you know, it just makes life so much easier, and also having the wonderful meals cooked for us, it just gives us so much extra time to focus on our studies. And yeah, would you agree, Nick?
Yeah, I think a baby step is a perfect way to put it, in terms of you don't have to cook your own meals and stuff, but it's also important, like, that, you know, you are learning new things. Like, obviously, someone doesn't do your washing for you or anything like that. Probably in terms of the transition from high school, the biggest helper is O Week, because you know, when you're at college, there's obviously meal times and stuff, but your life isn't structured in any way. Like, you still are very independent. Whereas the very first week is just a completely structured, like almost like high school run week where you know, you've got things to do, places to be, things to learn, and it sort of is just like you're used to it, and then you learn everything about the new place you're in, and then all of a sudden now you've got this freedom. I think so. O Week's like one of the funnest weeks and one of the best weeks for new guys.
Yeah, it just completely sets up. O Week is so important because it completely sets up your entire college experience. Like, most of my good friends now are friends that I made on O Week. Like, it's such a really unique experience, and it will like take you through into your first semester, make it a really easy transition.
Awesome. Are there any questions from the audience before I jump back in with a few more? If you think of any, just let me know. But so just moving on, are there any sort of academic support systems set up at college to help you out if you're struggling?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a tutorial program at college, so if there's quite a few people doing a unit, or if you in the first couple of weeks you're struggling a bit with the unit, or you think it might be a really tough one, you can just let college administration know, and they can set up a tutor for you. And the tutor's normally an older resident who's done the unit before and got a high distinction in the unit, so they're very competent in what they're tutoring. And they run those tutorials weekly or normally fortnightly. That's definitely a big support like a very structured academic support that college has to offer.
Yeah, college has like a lot of other things as well. Like I know there's people you can go to like look at your essays and stuff, and also more importantly, there's a lot of avenues to get help with like special consideration or just any other like admin side of things. But back to what Tiffany was saying about the college tutors, I can talk about them a bit more because that's the resource that I personally have really used the most. They're really good because you're not being taught the same thing that you like just watched in your lecture. They're really good because, like Tiff said, it's someone who's done the unit before, and so they're not just telling you the information, but they can tell you, that mid-sem test that's like a really hard one. That's a multi-choice one and it's okay. This unit coordinator is like really like they prefer when you write like this. This unit coordinator won't appreciate that style or that title. Like they can actually tell you about the unit structure and the unit itself, as opposed to just teach you things that like you've already been taught. And I actually, because I haven't had a tutor recently, but I forget it that in first year, I had a tutor who showed me how to structure an essay in terms of where to put your student number, where to put your name, where to put the word count, like how to put the cover page on. And it's like all this like admin stuff that, which I literally would have no idea how I would have done. Like if I didn't go to college, I probably just would have not put anything on it and just handed in an essay and lost, a big chunk of marks. So it's really good.
Probably the other thing that I would say that college is really good for with the uni side, you kind of touched on it, Nick, but we have student care who are 3 people in the office, and they're lovely, and you can go and talk to them about any issues you might be having, and they can hook you up with UWA if you're struggling or if you've got something that's holding you back from your studies. And I find college is a really good linking service between like your problem and potentially your solution, and college can help you navigate that path that might be a little bit overwhelming otherwise.
Awesome, thanks guys. If there aren't any questions, there are? Yep.
Yeah, so you guys are obviously both third-year students. I'm wondering what it's like being an older student at the college. Most people don't stay for 3 years, but how has your experience changed from first year to third year?
It's a funny thing because when I was a fresher, there was not many fourth years and sort of relatively few third years, and a lot of the second years were sort of like, yeah, I reckon I'll just 2 years. But then the next year after that, a lot of the second years actually stayed because they loved college. And then now I'm in my third year and there's a couple dozen fourth years. Yeah. And like when I was a fresher, that would have been like really weird. There's like, it changes a fair bit, how many people there actually are in that older area. And for that reason, to be honest, a lot of the time it even feels a bit like, there's still heaps of older guys. Like sometimes you feel a bit like a fresher. But I think it's also cool seeing like lots of new guys come in. You can teach them like all the old rules that you were taught by the older guys. At some point, like we got a few rules in the dining hall. You're not allowed to get your phone out and stuff like that. And then all the freshers love having a good time, probably focusing more on the college events than on uni, so it's good to see them getting around that and stuff, whereas in your third year you're probably getting more to that buckle down and study sort of area, make sure your WAM's good.
Yeah, I think for me it was really interesting, like as a fresher your experience is very unique, everything is so new and so exciting. But now as a third year, it's also, my experience has changed, but it's still really lovely, especially being an RA. I think like getting to like be on the bar at college parties or help out, a fresher with something. And it's like that kind of relationship has changed a bit. But it lets you sort of give back to the college. And I think all the RAs are really passionate about ensuring that the freshers have an experience that was just as positive as ours was, like in our first year.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you very much.
deserve to have a song, a piece of something to sing in the English rain. But words, they can't say it all. In fact, it's almost nothing at all. But I'll try to say goodbye. And you're made of little things. The way your voice catches in the evening air. And you're made of big things too. The light you bring when you walk in the room. And with heavy hearts we say goodbye, we say farewell. And with all our love we wish you luck, we wish you well. Fare thee well. With oceans and skies in between, it won't be the same as it always has been. But with a heart as big as that sea, you'll still bring depths of kindness to me. And still we'll share the same stars, the same moon. And it's an honor to see how you fly, how you bloom. And still we'll
Hey, I'm Matthew Simmons. I'm in my third year of university at UWA. I study genetics and chemistry. We have about 270 residents here at St George's College, and I'm lucky enough to be one of them. I'll be showing you my favourite spots around college, so come with me. So, we're here at the library. Now, this is one of the many places at St George's College where you can have a quiet place to study. So let's go check it out, shall we? Okay, now we've seen some of the study areas around college. Let us go to Sophie now, who will show us their residential areas.
Hey, my name's Sophie. Let's go check out Sasha's room. In every room, there's air conditioning and unlimited Wi-Fi. We are provided with a bed, desk and chair, as well as a sink. Now, what I love about especially the old wing rooms is they're super comfortable and you can decorate them how you like, such as Sasha having a lot of plants, which I'm in awe of. Now, let's go get lunch.
Here at St George's, we have 3 meals a day. There's a variety of options and specials such as curry and Mexican nights. They always serve vegetarian options, and don't worry if you have special dietary requirements. The chefs will fix it up for you. Let's go eat.
This is Rogerton Cafe. This is one of the communal areas around college. So here at St George's, you get 3 meals a day, but you can come down here to the communal kitchen and fix yourself a snack. People also come here after lunch to play pool, billiards, and just generally hang with friends. Thank you for coming on the tour with us.
And there's other online tours that you can see. And see
you at St George's. Hey, I'm Matthew Simmons. I'm in my third year of university at UWA. I study genetics and chemistry. We have about 270 residents here at St George's College, and I'm lucky enough to be one of them. I'll be showing you my favourite spots around college, so come with me. So, we're here at the library. Now, this is one of the many places at St George's College.
What's the best part about living at St George's?
I'd say like the community, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's really nice like having all these people around.
Yeah. Like your first day here, it's like you don't know anyone, but then from the second day on, it's like living with your best friends for the next like whole year.
Yeah, no,
It's
What was O Week like?
Oh, it's pretty hectic, I won't lie. But good
Fire.
fun.
Fire.
Good fun.
What was your favourite experiences from O Week?
Lawn bowls was fun. Fresher Dance Festival.
That was good.
That was good.
There was most of the social events where you got to like get to know other people better.
It can help you out with it.
What do you like doing in your spare time at college?
Chilling out, usually.
Yeah.
It's very easy to just walk over to your friend's room
Yeah.
and just like
Hey,
veg
what's
out.
up? Having a laugh in LC with the boys. That's
oh,
good
that's
fun.
true.
Yeah.
A game of Uno in the
Oh
LC.
yes, yes.
I think we'll finish with, what does living at St George's mean to you?
It really, really is. I know it's a cliche, but it's having a home away from home. Moving up to Perth is just like, it's a big deal. And like, it was a big transition, but like, living here has made it a lot easier, I think. And just like all the amazing people I've met, like I've met so many people through it. And I'm just, yeah, really happy I came here.
Like Kate said, it's literally a home away from home. Like,
Quite literally.
you'll finish a day at university and be like, oh, I'm going home now. And they're like, don't you live in Georgia? No, I mean like George's, because that's home. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. So spam.
2, 1.
Wait. Okay.
Alright, sorry.
The hand's coming on.
My bad.
Be there or be square. That's it from us.
See you at St George's.
Come to St George's.
It would be rude not to.
We good, Dylan?
Well, I would say like when you've reached this really exciting part of your life and there's like all these really big decisions coming up and everything, we've all been there and we've all like reached a point where like have all these options and all these choices and we've all made a decision for St George's, and I think we can all say that was the right decision. If you're looking for like a supportive environment, especially if you're coming from somewhere far away or maybe like this is a new step for you, like I think this would be the place
Yeah.
for that.
For somebody coming in, I'd say just have an open mind, because just like be ready for anything, because once you come here, you figure it out pretty quick on O Week, and yeah, you figure out what the culture of the place is like and how everyone acts, and you fit in pretty quick if you're ready to have fun, I think. Yeah. It was something else, yeah.
Everyone had warned me about O Week, like, well not warned, but just said like, be prepared, you're going to be busy like from like every day. I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. But it was like every day was busy, it was just so much fun. And immediately, I think on the first day, after the first activity, after that you're like, yep, I'm fine, everyone is on the same playing field.
Yeah.
And you immediately like connect with people within the first couple of minutes. It's just a really special experience.
Yeah. Oh, that was fantastic. I think,
that was good fun. One thing is how good the food is, honestly. Coming to college and like I eat very well at home. Like I was like, okay, it's not going to be home cooked meals, whatever. I'll survive. And like every meal is really, really good. It does not help with the Fresher 5, avoiding the Fresher 5.
Oh no, it doesn't.
But every single meal is like, yeah. So that was a very pleasant surprise for me.
Yeah. I'd say probably just how easily you fit in. Like there's no real standoffish, like, oh, you're just a fresher sort of thing.
You're accepted immediately, like welcomed,
Yeah.
with open arms, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Everyone just, I could just go up to any second, third, fourth year and just have a chat, have fun, like, you know, you go, yeah.
Yeah, I think also like how nurturing the environment is. Like I understood that I'd be like supported when I came to George's, but I didn't understand to like what extent. Like people really look out for you. Like if you're not having a good day, like everyone, you know, is aware and they support you. And yeah, I think that nurturing environment was definitely a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
See
you at St. George's.
I'm Sophie Hogan, and I'm also in my second year studying Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery at Curtin University.
Cool, thanks guys. So how did you end up studying your degree?
Well, I first thought that I'd like to do medicine when I heard a talk, I think at school or something like that, about a bunch of cardiologists on a flight back from Kenya, and someone had a heart attack, and there was the classic, is there a doctor on the plane sort of thing, and yeah, told me that story about kind of saving someone's life, and I thought, hey, that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, and I grew up in quite a medical family with my grandpa always telling us stories of working up in Wyndham and in the Indigenous communities up there, how much someone doing so little and just helping out was valued. And I thought, yeah, if I can make a difference like that, that'd be really cool. So decided to, although for a while I was like, no, I'm not doing medicine, that's what everyone else is doing, I'm doing my own thing. Got to like year 12 and you had to decide what you wanted to do. And I was like, oh gosh, I don't know. I was like, well, I kind of like science, I kind of like people. Why not put those together, see how we go? Did first year med and absolutely loved it. And I was like, yeah, this is definitely what I want to do.
Cool. And what do you enjoy most about studying your degree?
Probably the clinical component. At Curtin, there's a really big focus on like clinical skills and doctor-patient relationships and that sort of thing, and I find that really interesting. So that's been really good to learn about, and also it's just a really interesting course. Like it's constantly rewarding. You can always see how it applies like to real life and medical scenarios and that sort of thing. And you know, it's constantly, there's always more to learn. There's always more going on, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's probably what I enjoy the most.
Yeah, I think like literally from your first week, almost just second or third day, I think, of studying medicine, you have your clinical skills class where you're learning how to interact with patients. You're learning how all the theory that you're learning actually relates into real life. And I think being able to actually see how what you're learning can be applied and how it'll be useful to you in real life is really nice. And again, yeah, just the actual coursework that you cover is so fascinating. Like everyone, you've got a body, it goes around all the time. Everyone has a general idea, you've got a heart, lungs, but then learning the little details, just like, wow, I never knew that interrelated.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably a bit of a nerdy thing, but it's like it's just fascinating when they just click and it all makes sense.
Yeah.
That's always a good moment.
What have you found most difficult about studying medicine?
Probably the self-directed learning component. We've talked about this a bit, but a lot of the course, it's quite different from school in that, you know, nothing's really spoon-fed. So you'll get given, you know, a set of objectives to just go away and learn, and you kind of have to do that research in collaboration with your peers and kind of cover that ground yourself. So that's been quite different, and it took a while to get used to, but I think in the end it's like a really rewarding system of learning. So yeah, that's probably been the most challenging, but one of the most enjoyable elements of it at the same time, I'd say.
Yeah, I think that transition from school where literally everything is given to you on a page, if you learn this, you'll be fine, you can get 100%, and going to uni where I know Curtin have put a lot of effort into making sure, we've made our course like real life. In the workplace, you aren't going to be spoon-fed information throughout your whole career. You're going to have to go out, read research papers, read journal articles, read textbooks. You're going to have to compile that information yourself based on what you think you need to know and kind of compile it and make sense of it yourself. And I think having to transition to that and learn that maybe there isn't one 100% right answer. There might be no right answers. There might be lots of right answers. Which is the most right answer in this situation, was a big transition. That was quite hard to get my head around, but I can see how in the long term that will be useful, because when we're practicing in the future, that is what we're going to have to do if we want to keep up to date.
Yeah, it's just teaching us that component of like critical thinking in the workplace. You know, when someone comes in with like patient presents to you and that sort of thing, and you've just got this set of information that you have to make sense of and investigate yourself, whether it's on the spot or you go away and think about it. I think the Curtin's making a real effort to kind of instill that idea of like thinking yourself, making your own connections. What do I need to know? What do I already know? That sort of thing. So it's challenging, but it's good.
Yeah, I think at the same time, working with your classmates, like when you get your learning that you have to cover, you split it up, go away for a week, come back and teach each other. And I think that's quite one of the nice things about Curtin is that you can all go away and rely on each other to come back and teach each other. There's not any kind of competitiveness. There's not, I have to be better than everyone else. It's if we all pass, and that's great. We can kind of pull each other along, and so that's fostered a really nice atmosphere there too.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So obviously medicine's quite a demanding degree. Other than medicine, do you have any other commitments that you have to focus on, and how have you found balancing those with doing medicine?
I'd say probably the biggest commitment, especially for us, is college. So college, it's your home, and it's pretty much like your family and your friends all in one. And it takes up a lot of your time. There's just so much to do at college all the time. There's always someone who wants to hang out or, go do something or go somewhere, or there's dinner and, all these different events. And so it's been a challenge in terms of time allocation, because it's just so tempting to get involved. And that's probably the biggest thing, because medicine does take a lot of commitment, both, time, energy, everything. And it's not that you wish you could do everything, but that allocation of like, do I go here or do I study a bit more, or what do I do? That's definitely difficult, but you get better at it, especially as the years go on. So in first year I was pretty poor at that, but that's just life, and you get used to it. But that's probably the biggest thing. And then just in terms of time management, just the usual like exercise and your hobbies and that sort of thing. You've got to really think about what you want to put time into. Like, I've definitely found that a big difference between how I live my life in terms of time management at school and how I live it now at uni and college and that sort of thing is like with hobbies and friends and that sort of thing, you've actually got to pick and choose what you want to put time into. So you can have like 10 hobbies in school and you just do a bit of this all the time, but you don't particularly have time for that if you're doing med and you've got college and everything. So that's a challenge, but it's rewarding at the same time.
I think I also have lots of hobbies outside of medicine. Do surf life saving. I help with a club, International Health Organisation at Curtin. I do some advocacy for mental health, but I have found since moving to college, there's always something going on, whether it's a movie night or people going to just hanging out, whether it's the college play or the Birds or the Blues, the a cappella groups. There's so much you can get involved in, which is lovely, but it also then is a skill of learning what do I commit to and when do I need time just for myself to take a step back from it all.
There's too many options, if anything, which isn't the worst thing to complain about, but
Awesome. How has St George's assisted you in transitioning from school to university, and what sort of challenges do you find transitioning from school to uni?
Well, at St George's, it feels like, because it's so homely and it's so welcoming and it's so friendly, it's a really good stepping stone between how comfortable school was, and you've been with the same people for up to 14 years if you went to the same school for that long, and it's very comfortable, spoon-fed, everything's nice and set out for you, quite protected from the world. It can be pretty daunting going into the real world, as it were, but George's is just a fantastic, intermediary sort of stage. Like, you're not living at home anymore. You're with different people. You're with new people. There's no teachers telling you what to do and that sort of thing. But at the same time, you're not out on your own in a share house or living in a different city. So George's has been really comfortable in that manner, and I think that's very intentional. Like, it's really cultivated, and everyone's really friendly towards you, and everyone's been there themselves when they were first year, 1 or 2 years ago. It's just perfectly done. Like, it strikes a very good balance of, you've got your own space in your room, you've got quiet study spaces if you want to go there, but you can also be social, you can hang out as much as you want. So it's hard to feel lonely. It's hard to feel like you haven't got anyone to talk to. There's a lot of systems in place, like the RAs and student care and that sort of thing, to help you with that. And it's just quite difficult to be uncomfortable really, because within a matter of weeks everyone's settled in. We've got like great O week and stuff to really break the ice, and it just couldn't be better really.
Yeah, I know leaving high school I was really nervous about it because I felt like so much of my life was school. I was like known as an academic there. I was in multiple sport teams. I was like doing languages and all sorts of things. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's all going to end once school ends. What am I going to do? But I found coming to George's, it's literally like finding a second family. Like I've been here for just over 3 weeks, and already you go to the dining hall and everyone smiles and waves as you walk past. I was at uni quite a lot last week, and already people came and said, sorry, I haven't seen you around, so like, are you okay? Everything going on? I was like, wow. Like 3 weeks and people have already kind of accepted me in. And I was like, it was a very nice feeling, kind of having that, again, moving out of home, having that little bit more independence, but still having that support around you. And I think it's really made it obvious that like college and uni, it's as much as you make it. If you want the support, it's all there for you. If you want to do it independently, it's also an option. Like, and in between, it's just, it's up to you, and you can make the most of it.
Yeah, definitely. And because there's so many people at college as well, and it's such like a welcoming environment, it can almost be like shocking how easy it is to, fall into a group. There's always, there's some people who spend more time in their room, there's people who spend more time, in social spaces and that sort of thing, but you can always like find your crowd, and everyone's friends, everyone says hello to each other. That's a good way to put it.
I think even if there are crowds also, the dining hall, everyone sits where you change who you're sitting with each meal. So you end up talking to everyone, getting to know everyone, and I'm yet to find someone who won't have a genuine, friendly conversation with you.
That's true.
Which is really nice.
Awesome. What's something that you wish you knew before you started university?
Time management.
Time management and how to study. I wish I knew how to study properly. That's something that I didn't really cultivate in school. You can kind of breeze through school-ish, depending on where you want to go and what you want to do. But getting to uni, especially second year, even first year you can kind of get away with it, but second year you really have to have some sort of system in place to cover quite a vast amount of information. So I wish I knew how to study.
I think as we've said, there's just so many opportunities available that it definitely took a while to learn how to balance. Okay, I can't go in and do everything. I need to be able to pull back and have time for myself, time for study, and finding that balance where you still have a social life, still have your hobbies, but of course still have your study, because that's ultimately what you're at university to do.
That's very true.
We don't have a question from YouTube, but I just wanted to point out, Sergio, who is one of our previous students, an exchange student, is now back in Morocco. Sergio has said warm hugs from Morocco.
Thanks, Sergio.
Or Mexico, sorry.
Oh. Mexico,
Can't read it from here.
Slightly colder hugs from winter Australia.
Are there any questions anybody's got?
Yes. I've heard this, like you get a lot of medical students end up at St. George's College. Is that a useful thing to live with a bunch of other junior doctors, or?
I would say definitely, yeah. It's probably one of the best things about being at college as a med student is that there's a very high concentration of med students here. There's a lot of people to talk about, what specialties you want to go into, what you're doing at uni at the moment, especially being at Curtin for us. A lot of the students are at UWA, of course, at college. And so it's interesting, comparing courses, and there's a little bit of rivalry, but it's just a bit, healthy. It's a bit cheeky. It's very helpful. There's a lot of resource sharing, like a lot of studying together, a lot of testing each other, and even doing different courses that it's overlap, because medicine's medicine. It's been fantastic. I think it's really, really beneficial to your studies and just your general awareness. It's just good to have some interprofessional skills with the people you're going to be working with for potentially the next 60 years. So I think it's fantastic.
I think there's two kind of benefits of college. The first is that with so many medical students around, there's always people if you need help for. So the college has in place lots of tutoring support from older students. So if you always need help, there's people willing to lend a hand. And they also bring in lecturers every so often, and any college resident's welcome to go and sit in. So that's always quite. I think we've had a couple on haematology in the blood already this semester, so that was very useful. But the other nice thing about George is that yes, you have so many med students, but you also get to know so many people who aren't studying the same thing, because it's so easy at least Curtin, you go into your
Yeah.
building, everyone there studies med, you're kind of stuck with that same cohort, you don't really socialise a lot. Whereas at college, you're there with everyone from philosophy and ethics to fine arts to music to other sciences, engineering, all sorts, and that's quite nice as well to get a bit of perspective and difference.
Yeah, that's true. It is nice to have a bit of variety. Curtin Med especially is quite a tight cohort. It feels almost like school in that way. Like you have classrooms that kind of vary a little. But yeah, it's been nice to come to college both for the med students that are here. It's fantastic just to kind of break out of that. And just, the conversations you have, the friends you make and stuff. And like I said, you'll probably seeing them around the hospitals and whatnot for quite a while. But it's fantastic. Yeah, really like it. Yeah.
One last very quick question before we close.
Yep.
Are there any other students here studying med from other universities?
Yes. So there's one from Notre Dame. So there's a third year student from Notre Dame. So that's interesting again to get even more perspective. There's another Curtin Med in the year below. Yeah, in a first year, which is good because kind of give them a couple of hints about exams and that sort of thing. And then the majority of med students here at UWA. So that's really interesting. And the med students who are studying at UWA, of course, most of them are in the undergraduate phase of their degree, and a few of them are doing different degrees. They're not all just doing the medical sciences, which is like the most common one to do. So that's good as well. You just get all the different pathways essentially.
So would you send your child to Curtin or UWA in their school?
Curtin.
Yeah, we're probably very biased, but Curtin.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This song is by one of my favourite artists ever, Kate Miller-Heidke. I really love her music because it's got this gorgeous mix between classical and pop vocals. And, you know, as a classical music student, it's really interesting to delve into that kind of singing. The song itself means for me taking the little moments of joy and happiness in life and really stretching that emotion, really riding that feeling as far as it can possibly go. And it's really important for me at the moment because my granddad recently passed away, and for me the most important thing to do is to keep hold of the beautiful moments and keep thinking about them as often as possible. I woke up this morning, made a pot of coffee. I went out onto the stairs to sit in the sun. I haven't been myself, I know I haven't been much fun. But I woke up this morning and the air tastes different. Ooh, the fire in the gut. Ooh, kills the worm that haunts us. Ooh, I'm all shook up. I'm all shook up, and I'm gonna ride this feeling as far as it goes. I'm gonna ride this feeling. I don't know whether I'm flying or falling, but I'm gonna ride this feeling. Then all of a sudden I knew I was dreaming, and for some reason I decided to take off my clothes. Then I jumped off a cliff, just spread my arms and flew all the way across Canada to see you. And I'm gonna ride this feeling as far as it goes. I'm gonna ride this feeling. I don't know whether I'm flying or falling, and I'm gonna ride this feeling all the way down. Ooh, the fire in the gut. Ooh, kills the worm that haunts us. Ooh, I'm all shook up. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. Just get out of the way and ride. And ride this feeling as far as it goes. I'm gonna ride this feeling. I don't know whether I'm flying or falling, and I'm gonna ride this feeling all the way down. Awesome.
So when you guys start, if you could just...
I crafted my features to match your stare, and now I'm so lost because you're no longer there. I wrote on the mirror and I begged not to fall, but now that you're leaving I feel nothing at all. All this confusion, all these things I want to say, but I'm sure the pressure in my head will clear along with the tears someday. You'll leave in the morning and 6 months will pass. This will look like a daydream that we both knew couldn't last. Everything looks so much clearer just 2 weeks ago. I guess that's just proof you never really know. All this confusion, all these things I want to say, but I'm sure the pressure in my head will clear along with the tears someday. From waking up upon my bed to waking up inside my head, you've moved into a different state of mind. I wish we had the chance to talk before you had to let me walk out that door one last time. All this confusion, all these things I want to say, but I'm sure the pressure in my head will clear along with the tears someday. I'm sure the pressure in my head will clear along with the tears I thought that you deserved to have a song, a piece of home that you could take along, something to hum on the plane, something to sing in the English rain. But words, they can't say it all. In fact, it's almost nothing at all. to see oh, how you fly, how you bloom. And still we'll share the same stars, the same moon. It's an honor to see oh, how you fly, how you bloom, how you grace the skies. I thought that you deserved to have a song, a piece of home that you could take along.
Alrighty, so welcome everyone to the St George's music panel. Just before we get started, I'd like to take this time to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land upon which we gather here today, as we pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging. So the way this session will run is we'll have a quick introduction for everyone, followed by some general Q&As and then some audience questions if they have any at the end. So if you could all just introduce your name, what you study, your instrument and what year you're in. Do you want to start there?
Sure. I'm Adele. I study classical voice and I'm in second year.
I'm Nicole, I'm in second year and I'm studying classical violin.
I'm Kira, I'm in third year and I'm studying classical voice.
Nice. And while we're at it, my name is Max. I'm also studying music and Japanese, and my instrument is classical saxophone. I'm in third year. Alright, so let's get started. How did you all end up studying music? Do you want to start, Adele?
Sure. So I started with music in primary school because I went to a Catholic school, and so we did lots of singing and like masses and stuff. And I found out that I really loved singing from that, and it's just brought me through all the way through school, and I decided it was what I wanted to study.
I started on the piano when I was 6, and since then I've just developed such a love for music, and I started having an addiction for new instruments. Was obsessed with the violin from a very young age, and when I finally got it, I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. 100%.
Yeah, similar to Nicole, I started piano at quite a young age, so like music was already a part of my life, but singing maybe not so until halfway through high school, when I started doing it as an instrument. And I was more interested in music theatre at the time, so I thought that was the direction I was going in, until I auditioned at UWA, and then from there I just decided that classical voice was, I guess, more stimulating to me intellectually, so that's it, essentially how I ended up getting into music.
So it sounds like everyone's really passionate, and that sort of following their heart has brought them to studying at UWA, which I think fosters a really great environment at uni. Could you all just talk about what a week in your life at UWA studying music looks like?
Ooh, someone else want to start?
I'll start. A week at UWA studying music is usually a five-day week. It's pretty full-time. Normally you'll have 1 or 2 lectures and tutes during the day, but we also have a lot of practical stuff like workshops and orchestra rehearsals and chamber rehearsals for strings. And everyone at UWA has such a vibrant community because it's such a small con that everybody knows each other. And I think that being able to go into uni and see all of your friends and be able to make music with them is such a rewarding experience.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. You can go to any class and there's going to be a lot of different people studying different instruments at different years in each class, and it's really great. How's your week in a life of
Yeah, for sure. Like very similar to Nicole's in that it's definitely a 5-day week. As a voice student, we have a choir on a Monday, a voice workshop on a Wednesday, and then another choir on a Friday. So there's at least 3 days out of my week which are dedicated solely to just my studies as a vocal student. And then, I mean, throughout my entire degree, I've had classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they're just other music classes like history and musicology and oral and harmony and that kind of thing. So it really does become a full-time thing whether you're studying full-time or not. Personally, I'm only studying 3 units at the moment, but it's not just that every single day is a class, it's that I choose to be a part of ensembles on top of those classes, and that I spend more time there for rehearsals and practicing, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really is a full-time thing in sort of the best kind of way.
Yeah, so it might sound a bit full on to everyone else, but like I said before, it's a passion project. I often find myself going to uni feeling very excited for the classes because it's what we love.
For
Do you
sure.
have any other commitments on top of uni? It can sound pretty full on, so do you have any other commitments, and maybe how do you balance that?
Yeah, so there's definitely other like choirs and ensembles and things outside of uni, because it's good to just keep continuously doing music in and out of uni. And it does get quite difficult to balance sometimes, and I find myself like rushing between things and not having enough time to practice sometimes. But it is very important to try find that balance and not overcommit yourself to too many things.
Yeah, how have you found that?
I've been a part of, I was recently working in Jekyll and Hyde the musical as a part of the pit. I've done performances such as I played a gig at the Rosemount 2 weekends ago, and I think living at St George's, you're able to go between all of those other commitments and uni because you live so close to uni. Especially other ensembles that are later in the night that you want to go to, that you might not normally be able to if you were living further away from uni. But yeah, I think living here has made it so much easier to do all the other things that I want to, considering music is so busy.
True. Can I also add that like it is very helpful having lots of people here that some of them might be doing the same commitments outside of uni, and so it's helpful to like carpool or find your way together.
Yeah, I think
that's what I've found.
A massive plus of living in a residential college. How have you found sort of balancing other commitments, Go?
Yeah, so I have committed to a lot of external choirs, to the ones that are available to me at UWA. So, for example, of course, the ones that are at St George's, like Chapel Choir and the Consort. I'm also in Voices, which is a choir at Trinity College. And on top of that, I'm also the president of the Music Student Society, which is the Faculty Society for Music Students at UWA. So I do have, I guess, a pretty full-on schedule in terms of things that I'm committing to. And I found for me that the way to manage that is keeping really, really clear organisation, keeping a diary, making sure I'm aware of what I'm doing early and beforehand, and ensuring that I schedule in time to A, get all my classwork done, but B, just sit back and take time for myself. And as Nicole and Adele said, like, being here is a huge part of that because it takes the hour transit out of my day. And, you know, mindful, attentive, being with myself in times like when I'm eating dinner here, and it's just about sitting back and taking time with the people around me. I think that is hugely beneficial to what would otherwise be quite an overwhelming schedule, I think.
I think we can all agree that self-care is something that's really vital for music students and also other faculties and other students as well. Is there anything else that you found maybe a little bit more difficult at UWA studying music? So things like, I'm not sure if it was what you were expecting, or if there was maybe a learning curve at the start, or...
Well, I find it was definitely difficult going from, like Kira, I was in music theatre throughout school, and then it was very difficult to have that shift into classical where seemingly everyone knew what they were doing, and I felt like I didn't. But especially this year, coming here, has been a very helpful environment to help me get settled into classical.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I think for me, it was most difficult being just a kid in school who does music as a hobby to making it your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think that was the most difficult thing for me, but it's definitely been rewarding.
That's interesting.
For me, I think a huge challenge was a lot of struggle with performance anxiety, which is, I guess, something you don't expect a music student who elects to take on a performance degree to struggle with, but actually a huge, surprising number of us actually do struggle with that kind of thing. So it's been a huge learning curve to A, come to terms with the fact that that's normal and acceptable in a performance situation, and also how to find healthy and productive ways to deal with that. there are loads of avenues around performance psychology as ideology and as practice, and the staff and students that surround us at UWA and St George's College, there is so much support for that kind of thing. I've never ever felt as though I was not allowed to be nervous, and it has been absolutely a magical journey from first year when I could barely get up on stage without shaking in my boots to now when I feel confident that those nerves are productive and can move into something like a really good performance.
Yeah, I think that's really important to touch on. I think performance anxiety is something that we don't talk about enough, but I think we can all agree that we've experienced it at one point or another. So we've talked a bit about maybe some things that we find challenging. What are some positive things that you've come and taken from studying music at UWA and living here maybe?
I'd love to say the community, because that's the most obvious and easiest answer to come up with. I mean, it is the reason that I feel like we all ended up coming to St George's. There's this incredible community of musicians, and for me, it's I didn't live at St George's until my third year, so this is my first year here. But for me, it's not just meeting the other musicians who have taken it on as the main portion of their life. It's also meeting the musicians who do it as a hobby, who play guitar really, really well, but maybe, you know, it's not something that they perform in public. Often the a cappella choirs, so the Birds and the Blues, just seeing that community where music makes an enormous impact on people's lives that I perhaps, as a musician who's very caught up in my own headspace, don't get to see very often. And I think for me that's been one of the best things about studying at UWA and then moving into college as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like, it seems a bit backwards sometimes, but it's really actually inspirational seeing people that are doing music for no other reason than the fact that they just really want to do it. They don't have any uni or other commitments to do it. They just really want to showcase their love for music. I think that's really inspiring for maybe all of us. Is there anything that you found particularly positive about your experience here?
I think moving on from what Kira said, again, seeing people who don't study music, sometimes you definitely do get stuck in the headspace of you have constant constructive criticism and trying to improve and improve and improve, that you get lost in the notes and not in enjoying yourself. And George's provides so many opportunities to just let loose and have fun and not care so much that you're not being absolutely perfect. And I think I'm such a perfectionist that it really gets a hold of me a lot of the time. But being able to just enjoy myself in a community where everybody will support you no matter what. You can screw up and everyone will be there to lift you back up. And I love it.
Yeah, I think that's really important. How about you, Adele? What's some positive things you found?
Definitely, like, the support here it's so strong, and I find that, like, if you're struggling with something or you just need to figure out how to change something in a piece that you're finding difficult, like, there's so many people that you can just walk up to and be like, oh, hey, do you mind if I sing this for you? Or, like, can you give me some tips and feedback? And just anyone is so happy to help.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Christoph is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Christoph and Brianna and the whole team that we have here are just phenomenal. They are so intelligent and so good at what they do, and also so helpful and non-judgmental in how they help you out as well.
It's true.
Yeah. Being surrounded by that level of musicianship is incredible. You know, going to dinner and then hearing Raymond Young, an amazing pianist, play on the Physio that we have in the dining hall, that is just, it blows my mind every single time I hear it.
Yeah, and Paul as well.
Paul, yeah, Paul, right.
Well, hearing Raymond when you're walking to dinner playing from his little apartment in Newby is great.
Yeah, music is constantly surrounding us at St George's, and I think that's really great. What are some other ways that maybe St George's has assisted in your musical endeavours, or maybe the transition between, you were talking about high school and university before as well? Do you want to start with that?
Yeah, so I feel like St George's has assisted like before I even came to live here, because I was part of the girls' choir in year 12 of school. And that's kind of what led me to be like, oh, maybe I could go to UWA and study music there. Like, that would be so cool. And like, there were just so many people in the girls' choir and at St. George's that could speak to me then, because I was around here every week. And it was just very helpful to be like, oh, this is a place I can go to. This is a great community. Like, I love this.
Yeah. So St. George's seems like it was a massive part in you studying music at UWA.
Yeah, me actually like going on that journey to figure out where I could start studying music.
Yeah, that's really great. How about you, Nicole?
I think that I definitely would not have the same amount of friends and support that I have now if it weren't for St. George's. Especially with like the dining hall rules and everything, and O Week, and just the way Ian runs everything. I've been able to branch out and not just focus on music as well, because I feel like when you're going and studying one thing in a faculty, you get swept up in that one area and you don't talk to anyone who's studying anything different. But at St. George's, you've got the med students, you've got the commerce students, you've got the engineering students, and you hear from all branches of life, and you take a step back and you're like, okay, music isn't everything. it's my life, but it isn't everything. And it's great to just be a part of of a community who love what you're doing and you love what they're doing. And I think that's made it easier as well.
Yeah, sounds really refreshing as well.
Yeah.
How about you, Jill?
So yeah, like I said, this is my third year at uni, but my first year at St. George's. So my first experience with the music program at St. George's was actually through being in the Winthrop Singers, which is the choir at UWA, which performs in the chapel at St. George's College on a Thursday night. We do evensongs. And through that, I found out about the chapel choir that's here. So I ended up sort of hopping from Winthrops, which I was still in, into the chapel choir, and suddenly was immersed in this choral experience, like sacred choral experience, which I hadn't really experienced before, not anywhere near in as much depth. At the time, I was studying classical voice just because I thought, well, that's a good way for me to train my voice. But the chapel choir here really helped me to discover a love for choral singing that I didn't realise that I had, and that I found I was actually quite good at. So it was probably the chapel choir that encouraged me to live here, which put me into the consort, which is here along with the Dell. And that has been a huge awakening to me as to perhaps a potential career path for me as a vocal musician. I just, there are a few options for me, and I think having access to the choirs that are at St. George's College has been a massive eye-opener for me in terms of what's really available for me.
Also for convenience, you're maybe running late to rehearsal and then you realise, oh, I've just got to walk 2 minutes.
I live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've talked a little bit about some of the ensembles that we have here. What are some other maybe musical events that we have, both on the college club side, but also maybe the music department as well? Are there anything that comes to mind?
Well, we recently had the general music dinner, which I thought was really cool because it encouraged the residents who aren't necessarily like studying music, or even the ones who are studying music, to play an instrument or sing that like they don't study. And it was really beautiful just seeing people be so passionate about music just in a regular way.
Yeah. You play a few different instruments, right?
I do. Yeah. I played piano, I play violin, and I also played saxophone in the UWA jazz band, which is really fun. But at college we have 2 a cappella groups, which are the Newbie Blues, which is the male a cappella group, and the Birds, the Mockingbirds, which is the female a cappella group. So very pitch perfect, which is really cool. And I was involved in the chorale. College chorale. I forgot the name, it's been a while. Which was really fun, and it was everyone who doesn't properly do singing, and people who have been singing for a while, all kind of coming together and learning how to sound better as a group, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah. Something that really attracted me to the more art side of music at St George's College were the acoustic nights and sundowners, which are actually run by the college club. And the vibe of them is just anyone who has any interest in music, come bring your guitar, come bring your keyboard, just sing. And it is such a relief to be able to not only perform in that kind of situation, but also just sit and watch. I mean, we were talking earlier about how easy it is to get caught up into this very perfectionistic mindset as a music student. And it's absolutely wonderful to be able to perform in that kind of setting where the expectation is almost none. And like you said, Nicole, to be able to enjoy music just for the fun of having that there.
Yeah, exactly.
That is something that I just respect so much about this place.
I definitely wasn't expecting that when I came to college, but now it's something that I couldn't imagine not being in my college experience.
Yeah, especially like having these performances in a castle.
Yeah.
Like you've got fairy lights on the tree, and you've got the castle, and you've got hot chocolate and beanbag. Oh, it's so good.
Fantastic
It's so good.
environment. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So now moving on to maybe more of the serious side of things. Is there something that you wish you knew before coming to college, or maybe before studying music at UWA?
How easy it is to get swept up in the community at St George's and like also overcommit yourself in other areas and then just get like totally overwhelmed at when everything comes to a peak and you're like, oh, I have so much on, and it's just very difficult to get around. But it's also great being here while that happens, because there's people that will support you and be like, oh, is there anything that I can do to help? So,
I don't think I really knew what I was getting myself into when I came to George's, to be honest. I came to George's because I was with a friend, Quinn, who also studies music at St George's, and he was like, oh yeah, I'm going for this interview with Ian. I want to, go to this college. And I was like, oh, I'll walk you down. And I had a look at the building, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I had a chat with Ian, and I just fell in love with the place. I was like, this is incredible. This is gorgeous. Ian is so friendly. This is lovely. And I ended up getting accepted here, and I was like, great. I'll live in a college. That's it. And then there is so much more than just living here. It's everything. It's everyone. It's all of the performances, all of the parties, all of the formal dinners. It's everything. It's not just a building. That's what I think I learned
I think
the most.
it's not just a residential college.
Yeah.
It's so much more than that. How about you, Kira? Is there something that you wish you had known before coming to college or studying music?
I think in answer to before studying music, the thing I wish I knew is that, perhaps a controversial thing to say, is that talent doesn't really play a part. I would say perhaps doesn't even exist, although that's questionable. For me, the thing that I have learned that has taken me the longest to learn is that to get anywhere, and the people who do get anywhere, it's all about the hard work. It's about the time you put in, it's about the organisation, it's about the dedication that you make to practice every day, to connect with the people who are going to get you places, to commit to being at each rehearsal. It's about putting everything you have, and that is what gets you places. And gosh, I wish I'd known that before I'd started, because I would have started working harder a lot earlier. I know we've all been through phases where we just don't practice for months on end, but I think it's just been so beneficial to be surrounded by such hardworking and dedicated people, and that's been my privilege from living here and studying at UWA.
I think a lot of people don't realise how much work a music degree is. I think a lot of people are just like, oh yes, you're playing music. No, it's a job. It's it's work. I love it, but it is work.
Yeah. So maybe in a similar vein, is there one piece of advice that you really want to give someone who's thinking about studying music and also coming to George's?
Do it.
do it.
100%. Like, if you're passionate and you are willing to give it your all, do it. There is nothing better than being surrounded by a community of people who play music.
Yeah.
Honestly,
it's difficult, but it's worth it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think I would advise to make sure that you 100% are willing to put your time in, but to remember that it's okay when things aren't working out.
Yeah.
Because for sure, music, like any other degree and like any other endeavour, is a roller coaster of emotion and it's a roller coaster of work. But it is all worthwhile when we get to do things like this and we get to sing together in little choirs and when we get to sit at a sundowner and watch someone play guitar. And that's when it's worth it.
Yeah.
I have one more point, is that it's okay to go at your own pace. That's one of the things I was scared about, is that you sometimes feel like everyone's going at a different rate to you, but your growth is only measured by yourself. You can't compare yourself to other people, and I think that's one thing that I really wish I'd caught on to earlier, instead of comparing myself to people who've been playing for far longer than I have, and just saying I've improved from where I was at a different part.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I think that's something really lovely to end on for this part of the Q&A section. So I'll now pass it to the audience. Is there any questions that anyone has about studying music and also living at George's?
If I'm not studying music, can I get involved in any of the music activities at George's?
Oh, definitely. There's so much that's offered to the residents. Nicole was talking about the college chorale and how that involves both the music students and just the residents that want to be involved in the music, and it brings it all together and we all get to sing together, which I think is lovely.
Yeah. Also the a cappella groups, the Birds and the Blues that we were talking about, most of the residents that are in those choirs not studying music at all. The acoustic sessions, all the general music dinners, all of those things are open to all residents, and usually are so much so that the music students are a minority in the room. So yeah.
And Compline as well. Compline is lovely. To just go and spend an evening and listen to the chapel choir sing.
True. Even if you don't want to actually produce the music yourself, it's lovely to be able to be a part of it in a way that you're sitting and experiencing it. Yeah.
Are there any other questions? Well, thank you to our lovely guests for doing this panel. And if you have any more questions, you can email music@stgc@uwa.edu.au. But thank you for listening and thank you for being in the audience. And yeah, this wraps up the music at St George's panel.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Giselle.
Hi, my name's Sophie.
Hi, I'm Caroline. Hi, I'm Taylor. Hi, I'm Sarah. I decided to come to St George's because my brother was here and some friends were coming, and I also saw the campus and liked it the most.
I decided to come to St George's because I love the campus and the feel that I got from coming here on open day.
I decided to come to St George's because the community is very, very small, and I'm an international exchange student, so I thought it would be easier to find friends. And also, I mean, we have a castle and it's Hogwarts.
I decided to come to St George's because I had a lot of friends that had come here before and said it was really good, and I loved the tour and I loved the old building.
So I decided to come to George's, mainly my sister went to George's a few years ago. She just had the most amazing experience here and I just wanted the same thing really.
My experience so far has been really fun. We've met a lot of people and yeah, it's been good fun.
It's been everything and more. It's been the best few months of my life probably. I've really, really loved it. Coming from a small country town and with a tight-knit community, it's been really reflected moving up here. It's so amazing. It's like one big family, always comfortable with everyone, and yeah, it's really, really great.
O Week was incredible and you got to meet so many new friends. It was like getting 200 new best friends in a week, and the vibe that you just got was sensational and I loved it.
The best part about living in St George's is just being to wake up in the middle of the night, go out and knock at the door from your friends and just like have a little midnight chat and talk, and yes, you will do that.
I've loved meeting new people and seeing all the different events and just hanging around at college with everyone.
I love that there's always something going on, whether it be Compline or going to book club. You can always socialise, but then there's always space to downtime where you can go to the library and do some study.
And just being up in Perth and being able to go to uni nice and easily. The best part about college is always having someone to turn to whenever you've got like a problem with uni or at home, and it's just, yeah, it's really great having support around you. So at college we have quite a bit of support. We've got RAs, the student care office. They've helped me quite a bit with late minute assignment hand-ins.
I love my tute group and my RA. We always do tute group events, which is nice. We went down to the foreshore and we had some brekkie, which was lovely. It's always a nice time to bond.
If I need some help with my studies, Scott is always there, and I really love the RAs because they're always like have an open ear and you come to them all the time and you don't need to go to your own RA, and yeah, I really like that.
And our RAs are super helpful for when we've got problems with uni and stuff like that, and yeah, just our friends around us too is really good. My favourite place in St George's would probably be the Quad. I also am in North and I really like it up there, North G.
I really like Rogerson Cafe because it's a space where everyone can come together, where you can play snooker, make a Milo.
If you want to be alone and have like a bit of a quiet time, go to the front lawn and sit at one of the benches underneath the big trees. And if you want to be social, just go to the sofas outside of Reynolds' room. It's quite nice because there are a lot of people always hanging around and you can see whatever is going on.
My favourite place at college is probably the dining hall because there's always someone new to talk to when you're at lunch or when you're at dinner. It's just really fun.
Clubbies is alright sometimes. I don't even have a favourite place. I love everything about it. The Quad sitting out there in the sunshine is really beautiful. Anywhere, yeah, I love it all.
My favourite meal so far would probably be one that we had burgers and then we had churros as well for dessert, so that was a pretty good meal.
I love breakfast. They always have a really good supply of things and it's definitely my favourite meal, whether it be having the hot food option or just normal cereal and toast.
My favourite meal is Mexican night. It's just really yum.
Definitely Mexican night is my favourite meal at college. It is so good.
I love breakfast because sometimes there's cinnamon.
Cool. Hi, I'm Ewan. I'm studying Bachelor of Exercise and Sports Science at Notre Dame, and I'm in my final year actually at Notre Dame.
I'm Nina. I'm studying nursing at Notre Dame and I'm second year.
Cool. So how did you guys end up studying what you're studying, and how did you end up studying it at Notre Dame?
Well, initially for me, I did a school tour back in year 11 in Boston, and I was initially going to study health and physical education at Notre Dame, and I got an early offer into that degree. I ended up changing in my first year because I kind of felt like doing something really generalised and quite broad in the health science area, so then later down the track I could work out what specific area of health science interests me the most. So by doing exercise and sports science at the moment, it's really helped broaden that field, that scope of knowledge, and that's kind of what I've gone for in these last 3 years.
So I ended up studying nursing because I knew I wanted a career where I could help people. And then I chose Notre Dame because it has the best reputation in WA for nursing because of its practical hours every sem. It's very unlike the other universities in that respect.
I just chose it because I had good coffee.
Well, that probably answers my next question. What do you enjoy most about studying your degree and at Notre Dame?
Coffee.
Yeah, I really like the campus because it is very central to the city of Fremantle. Like there's your tute buildings right next to a coffee shop.
It's really weird, like at first, that you rock up and it's like, oh, there's just cars driving through the middle of my uni. It's just whack.
Yeah. And it's a very small uni compared to all the other ones in Perth, so
yeah,
I run to people all the time that I know they're good sense of community. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and it's pretty important to touch on like just how small all your classes are. Like you walk in, I know if you look at any of the Notre Dame stuff websites and they're like, we preach, you're not just a number. And I remember when I first enrolled there, I looked at it, I was like, that probably every uni says that, but like you go there and your lecturers will know you after maybe 1 or 2 lectures by your name, and then like maybe a year down the track, even if you don't have that lecture, you'll bump into them in the street and you'll be like, hey, you know, how you going? And it's just, as Nina said, it's just a real nice community. So it's pretty unreal.
Cool. On the other side of things, what have you found most difficult about studying nursing and sports science at Notre Dame?
I mean, the travel is not as big a deal as I know it is for other people going to different unis, but I think it's because we go to a college where it is central people going to UWA who just pop across the road and we have to do a little bit of travel, but it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's just one. Yeah, it's just one of those other things you factor into your day. It's like, oh, I only have to go to uni for 2 hours a day, but then you got to factor in you're travelling on either side of that. But like where we are at St George's, it's like super cruisy to get down. Then it's like half an hour.
Yeah.
If that, yeah, half an hour. So, yeah.
Nothing really to complain about.
Do you have any other commitments besides your coursework that you have to worry about? And how have you found balancing these with coursework?
My only other real commitment is playing sport, so
must be nice.
I don't find that a problem. I find it quite a bit of a relief to have that time off playing sport, so I don't find it that hard juggling that. I think it's nice to have a break from study for even like an hour a day, so I don't know about you.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on like the whole opposite end of that spectrum. So with sports science, we're expected to do like, I think it's like 300 hours of prac. So we're doing that on top of our existing degree at the moment. So about, twice a week, I'm at, Claremont Footy Club doing hours for them, unpaid hours. And then I also have to work as a swim teacher, and then I also work as a residential advisor at college here. So it sounds like a lot, but you kind of like you get into that once you're in like a schedule and the swing of it. It's not too bad because you can kind of balance out. This is happening then. I need to do this then, and obviously sometimes, especially at college, being a residential advisor, sometimes you do struggle to try and catch up with stuff you need to do. But it's just really getting into that rhythm of it and just setting yourself a schedule, and that's made it quite easy to handle commitments and stuff like that.
Yep. What about your transition from school to university? What's that like, and how has St George's assisted you in that transition?
I think St George's has made that transition very easier because moving from a smaller country town as well, having that kind of community in Perth of people that you know and can do everything with is really helpful because I barely know anyone from Perth other than the people at George's and my new uni friends. But as well as that, it takes away the stresses of like living that some people experience, such as like cooking and stuff. Like we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I think it's just really nice to have this community of people around you from transitioning up here.
Yeah, I actually couldn't probably imagine, like you look at people in first year at uni, and they've just come from school and then even out of college, it's like, I don't know how you could do that because it just makes it, coming to college especially is like us, because we're from, the country and whatnot, it just makes it such a much easier transition because, as Nina said, you have that community with you, so you meet other people and you make friendships basically instantly instead of having to go to uni and then you kind of, making that small talk to try and, make friends at uni. So I think college in that way makes it really easy in that you just know so many people and you keep those friendships after you leave college as well, which is pretty cool. And yeah, as Nina said, having food cooked for you and stuff it's pretty dope actually. It's not bad.
Yep. What do you wish you knew before you came to university? Or said another way, what would you tell yourself a few years ago while you're at high school?
My letter said year 12 doesn't matter that much.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
That is a hard one.
Oh gosh.
It's not, I guess, It's not really something I've thought about very much.
Maybe we'll just skip to the next
question.
Are there any questions from the audience before I start asking anything? Okay, if you guys are both from the country, you said, what would you say to students considering college who live nearby, live in Perth or metro area?
I would still very highly recommend college. I know there's a lot of freshers this year that are from the metro area and do really enjoy college. I think them having another like community outside their schooling one that they had here, it's like a nice fresh start as well if they want to make a new group of friends. And I think as well for people that are going to UWA, it's very convenient for them.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
Yeah, I think I couldn't recommend it more.
Yeah, ditto, really. Yeah, Netta summed it up pretty well.
Yep. What sort of things can you get involved in at St George's College?
God, this is massive, isn't it?
Plenty.
There's so much happening. Like, you've got college parties and events happening probably not every week, but every fortnight. And then there's always people who can be event organisers for that type of stuff. There's
the music program,
college play, art club.
And all the intercollege events like the sporting
sports,
and everything.
all the residential student apartments events that they run, tab shows. There's just so much to do at college. Yeah, it's dangerous, but it's a lot of fun though. It's like college is some of the best years of your lives because there's just so much to do, and you meet some great people as well. So.
Absolutely.
What would you say to students who are thinking of coming to college but are afraid that they won't find any friends or they might be a bit isolated?
I think this college especially is so welcoming. I don't think there's anyone here that wouldn't welcome people with open arms. So I don't think... I mean, obviously that's a fear for everyone coming in. I know I felt that way a bit, but that was not a problem at all for anyone I've noticed. I just think the people here are amazing. I don't think anyone could ever feel that way at this college.
I think it's one of the freshers said to me I think it was our mid-year O week that we just had then. One of them was they were really surprised because they just said everyone's just so nice. They were blown away. They're I thought there'd be a few people that were a bit but everyone's just super nice and really friendly, and that's one thing we'd like to promote is that everyone here, you're gonna probably make friends. Everyone here is super friendly and yeah.
Nina, you said so you're doing nursing, and you said you wanted to do it because you wanted to help people.
Yes.
What would you say to people who are considering nursing or medicine or dentistry or some other degree similar?
I couldn't more highly recommend doing the degree I'm in at the moment. I love it so much, and I think down at Notre Dame especially, I have prac every sem and I get exposed to so much every semester. It's such an amazing opportunity to be part of healthcare and helping people who are at their most vulnerable. I couldn't recommend it more highly. It's such an amazing place to be in, health sciences.
Yep. And one more question before we wrap up. What would be your favourite event at college and why?
Ball.
Oh, that's so hard. Oh, yeah.
Great night. A lot of fun. A lot of organising goes into it, but it's just so worth it.
Yeah.
It's the one-off event of the year. Be the biggest college party.
Yeah. I also just love every JCR party we have, and all the intercollege sports.
Yeah. I think it can be pretty hard to narrow it down to one event because there are a lot of very good events. So, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you guys want to say before we wrap up?
Go to Notre Dame.
Go to Notre Dame.
Cool. All right. Thanks so much, guys.